Chapter 1000, EASURE 4 Measure. Act 1. Chapter 1, One scene I an apartment in the Duke's palace. Enter Duke, Escalus, lords and attendants. Chapter 500, Duke, Escalus. Escal, my lord. Chapter 500, Duke, of government the properties to unfold. Would seem in me to affect speech and discourse. 5 Since I am put to know that your own science exceeds in that the lists of all advice. Chapter 1000, Why strength can give you, then no more remains, but that to your sufficiency, as your worth is able. 10 And let them work, the nature of our people, our city's institutions, and the terms. For common justice, you're as pregnant in, as art and practice hath enriched any, that we remember there is our commission. 15 From which we would not have you warp, call hither. Chapter 1, Say, bid come before us Angelo. Exit an attendant. What figure of us think you he will bear? For you must know, we have with special soul elected him our absence to supply. 20 Lent him our terror, dressed him with our love, and given his deputation all the organs of our own power. What think you of it? Escal, if any in Vienna be of worth, to undergo such ample grace and honor. Chapter 1, T is Lord Angelo. Chapter 1 25 Duke. Chapter 50, Ook where he comes. Enter Angelo. Ang, always obedient to your grace's will. Chapter 1, Come to know your pleasure. Chapter 500, Duke. Angelo. There is a kind of character in thy life, that to th observer doth thy history 30 fully unfold. Thyself and thy belongings are not thine own so proper as to waste thyself upon thy virtues, they on thee. Heaven doth with us as we with torches do, not light them for themselves, for if our virtues 35 did not go forth of us, twe're all alike, as if we had them not. Spirits are not finely touched, but to fine issues, nor nature never lends the smallest scruple of her excellence. But like a thrifty goddess, she determines 40 herself the glory of a creditor. Both thanks and use, but I do bend my speech to one that can my part in him advertise. Hold therefore, Angelo. Chapter 1, In our remove be thou at full ourself. 45 Mortality and mercy in Vienna. Chapter 54, In thy tongue and heart, old Escalus. Though first in question is thy secondary, take thy commission. Ang. Now, good my lord. Chapter 50, Et there be some more test made of my metal. Chapter 1 50 Before so noble and so great a figure be stamped upon it. Chapter 500, Duke. No more evasion. We have with a leavened and prepared choice proceeded to you, therefore take your honors. Our haste from hence is of so quick condition. 55 That it prefers itself and leaves unquestioned. Chapter 1000, Matters of needful value, we shall write to you, as time and our concernings shall importune. How it goes with us, and do look to know. What doth befall you here, so fare you well. 60 To the hopeful execution do I leave you of your commissions. Ang. Yet give leave, my lord, that we may bring you something on the way. Chapter 500, Uke, my haste may not admit it. Nor need you, on mine honor, have to do. 65 with any scruple, your scope is as mine own. So to enforce or qualify the laws. As to your soul seems good, give me your hand. Chapter 1, I'll privily away, I love the people, but do not like to stage me to their eyes. 70 though it do well, I do not relish well their loud applause and aves vehement. Nor do I think the man of safe discretion. That does affect it, once more fare you well. Ang, the heavens give safety to your purposes. Chapter 1 75 Escal, lead forth and bring you back in happiness. Chapter 500 Uke, I thank you, fare you well, exit. Escal, I shall desire you, sir, to give me leave to have free speech with you, and it concerns me to look into the bottom of my place. 80 a power I have, but of what strength and nature? Chapter 1 Am not yet instructed. Ang, 'tis so with me, let us withdraw together, and we may soon our satisfaction have. Touching that point. Escal. Chapter 1 I'll wait upon your honor. Exeunt. Chapter 1 Two scene II, a street. Enter Lucio and two gentlemen. Chapter 50 Lucio, if the Duke, with the other dukes, come not to composition with the King of Hungary, why then all the dukes fall upon the king. First gent, heaven grant us its peace, but not the 5 King of Hungary, s. Sec gent, amen. Chapter 50 Lucio, thou concludest like the sanctimonious pirate that went to sea with the 10 commandments, but scraped one out of the table. 10 Sec gent, thou shalt not steal. Chapter 50 Lucio, I that he raise. First gent, why 'twas a commandment to command the captain and all the rest from their functions, they put forth to steal. There's not a soldier of us all that, in the 15 Thanksgiving before meat, do relish the petition well that prays for peace. Sec gent, I never heard any soldier dislike it. Chapter 50 Lucio, I believe thee, for I think thou never wast where grace was saw. Sec gent, no, a dozen times at least. First gent, what in meadow? Chapter 50 Lucio, in any proportion or in any language. First gent, I think, or in any religion. Chapter 50 Lucio, I why not? Grace is grace despite of all. 25 Controversy, as for example, thou thyself art a wicked villain despite of all grace. First gent, well, there went but a pair of shears between us. Chapter 50 Lucio, I grant, as there may between the lists and the 30 velvet, thou art the list. First gent, and thou the velvet, thou art good velvet, thou art a 3-piled piece, I warrant thee, I had as lief be a list of an English kersey, as be piled, as thou art piled for a French velvet. Do I speak feelingly now? 35 Lucio, I think thou dost, and indeed with most painful feeling of thy speech, I will, out of thine own confession, learn to begin thy health, but whilst I live, forget to drink after thee. First gent, I think I have done myself wrong, have 40 I not. Sec gent, yes, that thou hast, whether thou art tainted or free. Chapter 50 Lucio, behold, behold, where Madam Mitigation comes, I have purchased as many diseases under her roof, 45 as come to. Sec gent, to what I pray. Chapter 50 Lucio, judge. Sec gent, to $3,000 a year. First gent, I and more. Chapter 1-2 50 Lucio, a French crown more. First gent, thou art always figuring diseases in me, but thou art full of error, I am sound. Chapter 50 Lucio, nay, not as one would say healthy, but so sound as things that are hollow, thy bones are hollow, 55 Impiety has made a feast of thee. Enter mistress, overdone. First gent, how now, which of your hips has the most profound sciatica? Chapter 1000, Arrest of. Well, there's one yonder arrested and carried to prison was worth 5,000 of you asec. Gent, who's that, I pray thee? Chapter 1000, Arrest of. Marry sir, that's Claudio, Signor Claudio. First gent, Claudio to prison, 'tis not so. Chapter 1000, Arrest of. Nay, but I know 'tis so, I saw him arrested, saw him carried away, and which is more, within these 65 3 days his head to be chopped off. Chapter 50, Lucio. But after all this fooling I would not have it so, art thou sure of this? Chapter 1000, Arrest of. I am too sure of it, and it is forgetting. Chapter 1000, Adam Julieta with Ch. Lucio. Believe me, this may be, he promised to meet me 2 hours since, and he was ever precise in promise-keeping. Sec. Gent. Besides, you know, it draws something near to the speech we had to such a purpose. Chapter 12. 75 First Gent. But most of all, agreeing with the proclamation. Chapter 50, Lucio, away, let's go learn the truth of it. Exeunt Lucio, and gentlemen. Chapter 1000, Arrest of. Thus, what with the war, what with the sweat, what with the gallows, and what with poverty, I accustom shrunk. Enter Pompey. How now, what's the news with you? Pom, yonder man, is carried to prison. Chapter 1000, Arrest of. Well, what has he done? Pom, a woman's. 85 Mrs. of, but what's his offense? Pom, groping for trouts in a peculiar river. Chapter 1000, Arrest of. What, is there a maid with child by him? Pom, no, but there's a woman with maid by him. You have not heard of the proclamation, have you? 90 Mrs. of, what proclamation, man? Pom, all houses in the suburbs of Vienna must be plucked down. Chapter 1000, Arrest of. And what shall become of those in the city? Pom, they shall stand for seed. They had gone down to 95, but that a wise burgher put in for them. Chapter 1000, Arrest of. But shall all our houses of resort in the suburbs be pulled down? Pom, to the ground, mistress. Chapter 1000, Arrest of. Why, here's a change indeed in the Commonwealth. 100, what shall become of me? Pom, come, fear not you, good counselors lack no clients. Though you change your place, you need not change your trade. I'll be your tapster still. Courage, there will be pity taken on you. You that have worn your 105 eyes almost out in the service, you will be considered. Chapter 1000, Arrest of. What's to do here, Thomas Tapster? Let's withdraw. Pom, here comes Signor Claudio, led by the provost to prison, and there's Madame Juliet. Exeunt. Enter Provost, Claudio, Juliet, and officers. 110 Claude. Fellow, why dost thou show me thus to the world? Bear me to prison, where I am committed. Prov, I do it not in evil disposition, but from Lord Angelo, by special charge. Chapter 150, Odd, thus can the demigod authority. 115, make us pay down for our offense by weight. The words of heaven, on whom it will, it will. On whom it will not so, yet still 'tis just. Re-enter Lucio, and 2 gentlemen. Chapter 50, Lucio, why how now Claudio, whence comes this restraint? Chapter 150, Odd, from too much liberty, my Lucio, liberty. 120, as surfeit is the father of much fast, so every scope, by the immoderate use, turns to restraint, our natures do pursue. Chapter 51, Key rats that raven down their proper bane. A thirsty evil, and when we drink we die. Chapter 1-2. 125 Lucio, if I could speak so wisely under an arrest, I would send for certain of my creditors, and yet, to say the truth, I had as lief have the foppery of freedom as the morality of imprisonment. What's thy offence, Claudio? Chapter 150, Odd, what but to speak of would offend again. 130 Lucio, what is't murder? Chapter 150, Odd, no. Chapter 50, Lucio, lechery. Chapter 150, Odd, call it so. Prav away, sir, you must go. 135 Claude, one word, good friend. Lucio, a word with you. Chapter 50, Lucio, 100, if they'll do you any good. Chapter 1, es lechery so looked after. Chapter 150, Odd, thus stands it with me, upon a true contract. Chapter 1, got possession of Julietta's bed. 140, you know the lady, she is fast my wife. Save that we do the denunciation lack. Of outward order, this we came not to. Only for propagation of a dowers. Remaining in the coffer of her friends. 145, from whom we thought it meet to hide our love. Till time had made them for us, but it chances. The stealth of our most mutual entertainment. With character too gross, is writ on Juliet. Chapter 50, Lucio, with child perhaps. Chapter 150, Odd. Unhappily, even so. Chapter 1-2. 150, and the new deputy now for the Duke. Whether it be the fault and glimpse of newness, or whether that the body public be. A horse whereon the governor doth ride, who newly in the seat, that it may know. 155, he can command, lets it straight feel the spur. Whether the tyranny be in his place, or in his eminence that fills it up. Chapter 1, stagger in, but this new governor awakes me all the enrolled penalties. 160, which have, like unscoured armor, hung by the wall. So long that 19 zodiacs have gone round, and none of them been worn, and for a name. Now puts the drowsy and neglected act freshly on me, 'tis surely for a name. 165 Lucio, I warrant it is, and thy head stands so tickle on thy shoulders that a milkmaid, if she be in love, may sigh it off. Send after the Duke and appeal to him. Chapter 150, Odd, I have done so, but he's not to be found. Chapter 1, prithee, Lucio, do me this kind service. 170, this day my sister should the cloister enter, and there receive her approbation. Acquaint her with the danger of my state. Chapter 999, implore her in my voice that she make friends. To the strict deputy, bid herself assay him. Chapter 1-2. 175, I have great hope in that, for in her youth there is a prone and speechless dialect, such as move men, beside she hath prosperous art, when she will play with reason and discourse, and well she can persuade. 180 Lucio, I pray she may, as well for the encouragement of the like, which else would stand under grievous imposition, as for the enjoying of thy life, who I would be sorry should be thus foolishly lost at a game of tic-tac. I'll to her. 185 Claude, I thank you, good friend Lucio. Chapter 50, Lucio, within 2 hours. Chapter 150, Odd. Chapter 100, Officer away. Exeunt. Chapter 1, 3 Scene III, a monastery. Enter Duke and Friar Thomas. Chapter 500, Uke, no, Holy Father, throw away that thought. Believe not that the dribbling dart of love. Chapter 100, and pierce a complete bosom, why I desire thee. to give me secret harbor, hath a purpose. 5 more grave and wrinkled than the aims and ends of burning youth. Fried tea. Chapter 1000, I your grace speak of it. Chapter 500, Uke, my holy sir, none better knows than you. How I have ever loved the life removed, and held in idle price to haunt assemblies. 10 where youth and cost and witless bravery keeps. Chapter 1, have delivered to Lord Angelo, a man of stricture and firm abstinence. Chapter 1000, why absolute power and place here in Vienna. And he supposes me travelled to Poland. 15 for so I have strewed it in the common ear. And so it is received, now pious sir. You will demand of me why I do this. Fry tea gladly, my lord. Chapter 500, Uke, we have strict statutes and most biting laws. 20 the needful bits, and curbs to headstrong weeds, which for this 14 years we have let slip, even like an o'ergrown lion in a cave, that goes not out to prey, now as fond fathers, having bound up the threatening twigs of birch. Chapter 13, 25 only to stick it in their children's sight, for terror not to use in time the rod, becomes more mocked than feared, so our decrees. Chapter 500, Eed to infliction to themselves are dead, and liberty plucks justice by the nose. 30 the baby beats the nurse, and quite athwart goes all decorum. Fried tea. Chapter 1, tea rested in your grace, to unloose this tied-up justice when you pleased, and it in you more dreadful would have seemed than in Lord Angelo. Chapter 500, Uke. Chapter 1, do fear too dreadful. 35 Sith, 'twas my fault to give the people scope. 'Twould be my tyranny to strike and gall them, for what I bid them do, for we bid this be done, when evil deeds have their permissive pass, and not the punishment, therefore indeed my father. 40 I have on Angelo imposed the office, who may in the ambush of my name strike home, and yet my nature never in the fight, to do in slander and to behold his sway. Chapter 1, will, as twere a brother of your order. 45 visit both prince and people, therefore, I prithee, supply me with the habit and instruct me, how I may formally in person bear me. Chapter 51, Key a true friar, more reasons for this action. At our more leisure shall I render you. Chapter 13, 50 only, this one, Lord Angelo is precise, stands at a guard with envy, scarce confesses that his blood flows, or that his appetite. Chapter 1, S more to bread than stone, hence shall we see. Chapter 1, F power change purpose, what our seemers be. Exeunt. Chapter 1, foreseen IV, a nunnery. Enter Isabella and Francisco. Chapter 1, Sab, and have you nuns no farther privileges? Fran, are not these large enough? Chapter 1, Sab, yes truly, I speak not as desiring more, but rather wishing a more strict restraint. 5 upon the sisterhood, the votarists of St. Clare. Chapter 50, Lucio ho, peace be in this place. Chapter 1, Sab. Who's that which calls? Fran, it is a man's voice, gentle Isabella. Turn you the key, and know his business of him. You may, I may not, you are yet unsworn. 10 when you have vowed, you must not speak with men, but in the presence of the prioress. Then if you speak, you must not show your face. or if you show your face, you must not speak. He calls again, I pray you answer him, exit. 15 Isab, peace and prosperity, who is that calls? Enter Lucio. Chapter 50, Lucio, hail virgin if you be, as those cheek roses. Proclaim you are no less, can you so stead me? As bring me to the sight of Isabella, a novice of this place, and the fair sister. 20 to her unhappy brother Claudio. Chapter 1, Sab, why her unhappy brother, let me ask. The rather, for I now must make you know. Chapter 1, that Isabella and his sister. Chapter 50, Lucio, gentle and fair, your brother kindly greets you. Chapter 1 4. 25 Not to be weary with you, he's in prison. Chapter 1, Sab, woe me for what? Chapter 50, Lucio, for that which, if myself might be his judge, he should receive his punishment in thanks. He hath got his friend with child. Chapter 1, Sab, sir, make me not your story. 30 Lucio. Chapter 1, T is true. Chapter 1, would not, though T's my familiar sin, with maids to seem the lapwing, and to jest. Tongue far from heart, play with all virgins so. Chapter 1, hold you as a thing enskied and sainted. 35 By your renouncement, an immortal spirit, and to be talked with in sincerity, as with a saint. Chapter 1, Sab, you do blaspheme the good in mocking me. Chapter 50, Lucio, do not believe it, fewness and truth tease thus. 40 Your brother and his lover have embraced, as those that feed grow full, as blossoming time, that from the seedness the bare fallow brings, to teeming foison, even so her plenteous womb expresseth his full tilth and husbandry. 45 Isab, someone with child by him, my cousin Juliet. Chapter 50, Lucio, is she your cousin? Chapter 1, Sab, adoptedly, as schoolmaids change their names, by vain, though apt, affection. Chapter 50, Lucio. She it is. Chapter 1, Sab, oh let him marry her. Chapter 50, Lucio. This is the point. Chapter 1 4. 50 The Duke is very strangely gone from hence. Bore many gentlemen, myself being one. Chapter 1 In hand and hope of action, but we do learn by those that know the very nerves of state. His givings out were of an infinite distance. 55 From his true meant design, upon his place, and with full line of his authority, governs Lord Angelo, a man whose blood. Chapter 1 S very snow broth, one who never feels the wanton stings and motions of the sense. 60 But doth rebate and blunt his natural edge, with profits of the mind, study and fast. He to give fear to use and liberty, which have for long run by the hideous law, as mice by lions, hath picked out an act. 65 Under whose heavy sense your brother's life falls into forfeit, he arrests him on it, and follows close the rigor of the statute. To make him an example, all hope is gone, unless you have the grace by your fair prayer. 70 To soften Angelo, and that's my pith of business, twixt you and your poor brother. Chapter 1 Sab, doth he so seek his life? Chapter 50 Lucio has censured him already, and, as I hear, the provost hath a warrant for his execution. Chapter 1 4. 75 Isab, alas, what poor ability is in me to do him good. Chapter 50, Lucio. Assay the power you have. Chapter 1, Sab, my power, alas I doubt. Chapter 50, Lucio. Our doubts are traitors, and make us lose the good we oft might win. By fearing to attempt, go to Lord Angelo. 80 and let him learn to know, when maidens sue. Chapter 1000, N give like gods, but when they weep and kneel, all their petitions are as freely theirs, as they themselves would owe them. Chapter 1, Sab, I'll see what I can do. Chapter 50, Lucio. But speedily. 85 Isab, I will about it straight. No longer staying, but to give the mother notice of my affair, I humbly thank you. Chapter 100, Amend me to my brother, soon at night. Chapter 1, I'll send him certain word of my success. Chapter 50, Lucio, I take my leave of you. 90 Isab. Good sir, adieu. Exeunt. Act 2. Chapter 2, one scene I a hole in Angelo's house. Enter Angelo, Escalus, and a justice, provost, officers, and other attendants, behind. Ang, we must not make a scarecrow of the law, setting it up to fear the birds of prey, and let it keep one shape, till custom make it their perch and not their terror. Escal. Aye, but yet. 5 let us be keen, and rather cut a little than fall and bruise to death. Alas, this gentleman, whom I would save, had a most noble father. Chapter 50, Et but your honor know, whom I believe to be most straight in virtue. 10 that, in the working of your own affections, had time cohered with place or place with wishing, or that the resolute acting of your blood. Chapter 100, would have attained the effect of your own purpose, whether you had not some time in your life. 15 erred in this point, which now you censure him, and pulled the law upon you. Ang, 'tis one thing to be tempted, Escalus, another thing to fall, I not deny. The jury, passing on the prisoner's life, 20 may in the sworn 12 have a thief or two. Guiltier than him they try, what's open made to justice. That justice seizes what know the laws. That thieves do pass on thieves, 'tis very pregnant. The jewel that we find, we stoop and taked. Chapter 2, 1. 25 because we see it, but what we do not see, we tread upon and never think of it. You may not so extenuate his offense, for I have had such faults, but rather tell me, when I that censure him do so offend. 30 let mine own judgment pattern out my death, and nothing come impartial, sir, he must die. Escal be it as your wisdom will. Ang. Where is the provost? Prov here, if it like your honors. Ang. See that Claudio be executed by 9 tomorrow morning. 35 bring him his confessor, let him be prepared, for that's the utmost of his pilgrimage. Exit provost. Escal, well, heaven forgive him, and forgive us all. Some rise by sin, and some by virtue fall. Some run from breaks of ice, and answer none. 40 and some condemned for a fault alone. Enter Elbow, and officers with froth and Pompey. Elb, come, bring them away. If these be good people in a commonweal that do nothing but use their abuses in common houses, I know no law, bring them away. Ang, how now, sir, what's your name, and what's 45 the matter? Elb, if it please your honor, I am the poor duke's constable, and my name is Elbow. I do lean upon justice, sir, and do bring in here before your good honor 2 notorious benefactors. Chapter 2, 1. 50 Ang, benefactors. Well, what benefactors are they? Are they not malefactors? Elb, if it please your honor, I know not well what they are, but precise villains they are, that I am sure of, and void of all profanation in the world that good Christians 55 ought to have. Eskel, this comes off well, here's a wise officer. Ang, go to, what quality are they of? Elbow is your name, why dost thou not speak elbow? Palm, he cannot, sir, he's out at elbow. 60 Ang, what are you, sir? Elb, he, sir, a tapster, sir, parcel bawd, one that serves a bad woman, whose house, sir, was, as they say, plucked down in the suburbs, and now she professes a hot house, which I think is a very ill house too. 65 Eskel, how know you that? Elb, my wife, sir, whom I detest before heaven and your honor. Eskel, how, thy wife? Elb, I, sir, whom I thank heaven is an honest 70 woman. Eskel, dost thou detest her therefore? Elb, I say, sir, I will detest myself also, as well as she, that this house, if it be not a bawd's house, it is pity of her life, for it is a naughty house. Chapter 2, 1. 75 Eskel, how dost thou know that, constable? Elb, marry, sir, by my wife, who, if she had been a woman cardinally given, might have been accused in fornication, adultery, and all uncleanliness there. Eskel, by the woman's means. 80 Elb, I, sir, by Mistress Overdone's means, but as she spit in his face, so she defied him. Palm, sir, if it please your honor, this is not so. Elb, prove it before these varlets here, thou honorable man, prove it. 85 Eskel, do you hear how he misplaces? Palm, sir, she came in great with child, and longing, saving your honor's reverence, for stewed prunes, sir, we had but 2 in the house, which at that very distant time stood, as it were, in a fruit dish, a dish of some 3 pence. 90 your honors have seen such dishes. They are not china dishes, but very good dishes. Eskel, go to, no matter for the dish, sir. Palm, no indeed, sir, not of a pin, you are therein in the right, but to the point. As I say, this Mistress Elbow, 95 being, as I say, with child, and being great-bellied, and longing, as I said, for prunes, and having but 2 in the dish, as I said, Master Froth here, this very man, having eaten the rest, as I said, and as I say, paying for them very honestly, for, as you know, Master Froth, I could not. 100, give you 3 pence again. Froth, no, indeed. Palm, very well. You being then, if you be remembered, cracking the stones of the foresaid prunes. Froth, I, so I did indeed. Palm, why, very well. I telling you then, if you be remembered, 105 that such a one and such a one were past cure of the thing you wot of, unless they kept very good diet, as I told you. Froth, all this is true. 110 Palm, why, very well then. Eskel, come, you are a tedious fool, to the purpose. What was done to Elbow's wife, that he hath cause to complain of, come me to what was done to her. Palm, sir, your honor cannot come to that yet. 115 Eskel, no, sir, nor I mean it not. Palm, sir, but you shall come to it, by your honor's leave. And I beseech you, look into Master Froth here, sir, a man of 80 pound a year, whose father died at Halomas, wast not at Halomas, Master Froth. 120 Froth, All Hallound Eve. Palm, why, very well, I hope here be truths. He, sir, sitting, as I say, in a lower chair, sir, 'twas in the bunch of grapes, where indeed you have a delight to sit, have you not? Chapter 2, 1. 125 Froth, I have so, because it is an open room, and good for winter. Palm, why, very well then, I hope here be truths. Ang, this will last out a night in Russia. When nights are longest there, I'll take my leave. 130, and leave you to the hearing of the cause. Hoping you'll find good cause to whip them all. Eskel, I think no less, good morrow to your lordship. Exit Angelo. Now, sir, come on, what was done to Elbow's wife once more. 135 palm. Once, sir, there was nothing done to her once. Elb, I beseech you, sir, ask him what this man did to my wife. Palm, I beseech your honor, ask me. Eskel, well, sir, what did this gentleman to her? 140 palm, I beseech you, sir, look in this gentleman's face. Good Master Froth, look upon his honor, tease for a good purpose, doth your honor mark his face? Eskel, I, sir, very well. Palm, nay, I beseech you, mark it we Eskel, well, I do so. Palm, doth your honor see any harm in his face? Eskel, why, no. Palm, I'll be supposed upon a book, his face is the worst thing about him. Good, then, if his face be the worst. 150 thing about him, how could Master Froth do the constable's wife any harm? I would know that of your honor. Eskel, he's in the right. Constable, what say you to it? Elb, first, and it like you, the house is a respected house. Next, this is a respected fellow, and his mistress is 155 a respected woman. Palm, by this hand, sir, his wife is a more respected person than any of us all. Elb, varlet, thou least, wicked varlet. The time is yet to come that she was ever respected with 160 man, woman, or child. Palm, sir, she was respected with him before he married with her. Eskel, which is the wiser here, justice or iniquity, is this true? 165 Elb, O thou caitiff, O thou varlet, O thou wicked Hannibal, I respected with her before I was married to her. If ever I was respected with her, or she with me, let not your worship think me the poor duke's officer. Prove this, thou wicked Hannibal, or I'll have mine action of battery 170 on thee. Eskel, if he took you a box o.th, ear, you might have your action of slander too. Elb, marry, I thank your good worship for it. What is't your worship's pleasure I shall do with this wicked? 175 caitiff. Eskel, truly, officer, because he hath some offences in him that thou wouldst discover if thou couldst, let him continue in his courses till thou knowest what they are. Elb, marry, I thank your worship for it. Thou seest, 180 thou wicked varlet, now, what's come upon thee? Thou art to continue now, thou varlet, thou art to continue. Eskel, where were you born, friend? Froth, here in Vienna, sir. Eskel, are you of £80 a year? 185 Froth, yes, an't please you, sir. Eskel, so, what trade are you of, sir? Palm, a tapster, a poor widow's tapster. Eskel, your mistress, name. Palm, mistress, overdone. 190 Eskel, hath she had any more than one husband? Palm, 9, sir, overdone by the last. Eskel, 9, come hither to me, Master Froth. Master Froth, I would not have you acquainted with tapsters. They will draw you, Master Froth, and you will hang 195 them. Get you gone, and let me hear no more of you. Froth, I thank your worship. For mine own part, I never come into any room in a taff-house, but I am drawn in. Eskel, well, no more of it, Master Froth. Farewell. Come you hither to me, Master Tapster. 200, what's your name, Master Tapster? Palm, Pompey. Eskel, what else? Palm, bum, sir. Eskel, troth, and your bum is the greatest thing about 205 you, so that, in the beastliest sense, you are Pompey the Great. Pompey, you are partly a bawd, Pompey, howsoever you colour it in being a tapster, are you not? Come, tell me true, it shall be the better for you. Palm, truly, sir, I am a poor fellow that would live. 210 Eskel, how would you live, Pompey, by being a bawd? What do you think of the trade, Pompey? Is it a lawful trade? Palm, if the law would allow it, sir. Eskel, but the law will not allow it, Pompey, nor it 215 shall not be allowed in Vienna. Palm, does your worship mean to geld and splay all the youth of the city? Escal no Pompey. Palm, truly, sir, in my poor opinion, they will tot, 220 then. If your worship will take order for the drabs and the knaves, you need not to fear the bawds. Escal, there are pretty orders beginning, I can tell you. It is but heading and hanging. Palm, if you head and hang all that offend that way. 225, but for 10 year together, you'll be glad to give out a commission for more heads. If this law hold in Vienna 10 year, I'll rent the fairest house in it after 3 pence a bay. If you live to see this come to pass, say Pompey told you so. Escal, thank you, good Pompey, and in requital of 230 your prophecy, hark you, I advise you, let me not find you before me again upon any complaint whatsoever. No, not for dwelling where you do. If I do, Pompey, I shall beat you to your tent, and prove a shrewd CSR to you. In plain dealing, Pompey, I shall have you whipped. So for 235 this time, Pompey, fare you well. Palm, I thank your worship for your good counsel, but I shall follow it, as the flesh and fortune shall better determine. Whip me, no, no, let Carmen whip his jade. 240, the valiant heart is not whipped out of his trade. Exit. Escal, come hither to me, Master Elbow, come hither, Master Constable. How long have you been in this place of constable? Elb, 7 year and a half, sir. 245 Escal, I thought, by your readiness in the office, you had continued in it some time. You say 7 years together. Elb and a half, sir. Escal, alas, it hath been great pains to you. They do you wrong to put you so oft upon't, are there not? 250, in your ward sufficient to serve it. Elb, faith, sir, few of any wit in such matters. As they are chosen, they are glad to choose me for them. I do it for some piece of money, and go through with all. Escal, look you bring me in the names of some sore 7, the most sufficient of your parish. Elb, to your worship's house, sir. Escal, to my house, fare you well. Exit Elbow. What's o'clock, think you? Just 11, sir. 260 Escal, I pray you home to dinner with me. Just I humbly thank you. Escal, it grieves me for the death of Claudio. But there's no remedy. Just Lord Angelo is severe. Escal. Chapter 1, Tea is but needful. 265 Mercy is not itself, that oft looks so. Pardon is still the nurse of second woe. But yet, poor Claudio, there is no remedy. Chapter 100, Om Sir. Exeunt. Chapter 2, Two Scene II, another room in the same. Enter Provost and a servant. Serve, he's hearing of a cause, he will come straight. Chapter 1, I'll tell him of you. Prov. Pray you do, I'll know. His pleasure may be he will relent, alas. He hath but as offended in a dream. 5 all sects, all ages smack of this vice, and he. To die for tea. Enter Angelo. Ang. Now what's the matter, Provost? Prav, is it your will Claudio shall die tomorrow? Ang, did not I tell thee yea, hadst thou not order? Why dost thou ask again? Prav. Chapter 50, Est I might be too rash. 10 Under your good correction, I have seen. When after execution, judgment hath repented o'er his due. Ang. Go to, let that be mine. Chapter 500, Owe you your office or give up your place, and you shall well be spared. Prav. Chapter 1, Crave your honour's pardon. 15 What shall be done, sir, with the groaning Juliet? She's very near her hour. Ang. Chapter 501, Spose of her. To some more fitter place, and that with speed. Re-enter servant. Serve, here is the sister of the man condemned. Chapter 500, Escher's access to you. Ang. Hath he a sister? 20 Prav, I, my good lord, a very virtuous maid, and to be shortly of a sisterhood. Chapter 1, F not already. Ang. Well, let her be admitted. Exit servant. See you the fornicatress be removed. Chapter 50, Et her have needful but not lavish means. There shall be order for tea. Enter Isabella and Lucio. Chapter 2 25 Prav. God save your honor. Ang, stay a little while, you're welcome, what's your will? Chapter 1, Sab, I'm a woeful suitor to your honor. Please, but your honor, hear me. Ang. Well, what's your suit? Chapter 1, Sab, there is a vice that most I do abhor. 30 and most desire should meet the blow of justice. For which I would not plead, but that I must. For which I must not plead, but that I am. At war twixt will and will not. 320 Ang. Well, the matter. Chapter 1, Sab, I have a brother is condemned to die. 35 I do beseech you, let it be his fault, and not my brother. Prav, heaven give thee moving graces. Ang, condemn the fault, and not the actor of it. Why, every fault's condemned, ere it be done. Chapter 1001, Ni, with a very cipher of a function. 40 to find the faults, whose fine stands in record, and let go by the actor. Chapter 1, Sab. O just but severe law. Chapter 1, had a brother then, heaven keep your honor. Chapter 50, Lucio, give it not o'er so, to him again entreat him. Kneel down before him, hang upon his gown. 45 You are too cold, if you should need a pin. You could not with more tame, a tongue desire it. To him I say. Chapter 1, Sab, must he needs die. Ang. Chapter 1000, Aiden, no remedy. Chapter 1, Sab, yes, I do think that you might pardon him. Chapter 2 50 And neither heaven nor man grieve at the mercy. Ang, I will not dart. Chapter 1, Sab. But can you, if you would? Ang, look, what I will not, that I cannot do. Chapter 1, Sab, but might you dart and do the world no wrong. Chapter 1, if so your heart were touched with that remorse, as mine is to a Chang. He's sentenced, he's too late. Chapter 50, Lucio, you are too cold. Chapter 1, Sab, too late, why no I that do speak a word. Chapter 1000, I call it back again, well believe this. No ceremony, that to great ones longs. 60 Not the king's crown, nor the deputed sword. The marshal's truncheon, nor the judge's robe. Become them, with one half so good a grace, as mercy does. Chapter 1, if he had been as you, and you as he. 65 You would have slipped like him, but he, like you, would not have been so stern. Ang. Pray you, be gone. Chapter 1, Sab, I would to heaven I had your potency. And you were Isabel, should it then be thus? No, I would tell what 'twere to be a judge. And what a prisoner. 70 Lucio, I touch him, there's the vein. Ang, your brother is a forfeit of the law. And you but waste your words. Chapter 1, Sab. Alas, alas. Why all the souls that were forfeit once? And he that might the vantage best have took. Chapter 2 75 found out the remedy, how would you be? Chapter 1, F he, which is the top of judgment should. But judge you as you are, oh think on that. And mercy then will breathe within your lips. Chapter 51, Key man new maid. Ang. Be you content, fair maid. 80 It is the law, not I condemn your brother. Were he my kinsman, brother, or my son? Chapter 1, T should be thus with him, he must die tomorrow. Chapter 1, Sab, tomorrow, oh that sudden spare him, spare him. He's not prepared for death, even for our kitchens. 85 We kill the fowl of season, shall we serve heaven? With less respect than we do minister. To our gross selves, good, good my lord, bethink you. Who is it that hath died for this offence? There's many have committed it. Chapter 50, Lucio, I well saw Ang, the law hath not been dead though it hath slept. Those many had not dared to do that evil. Chapter 1, F the first that did the edict infringe. Had answered for his deed, now T's awake. Takes note of what is done, and, like a prophet. 95 Looks in a glass, that shows what future evils. Either now, or by remissness new conceived. And so in progress to be hatched and born. Are now to have no successive degrees. But ere they live to end. Chapter 1, Sab. Yet show some pity. Chapter 2 100 Ang, I show it most of all when I show justice. For then I pity those I do not know, which a dismissed offence would after gall, and do him right that, answering one foul wrong. Chapter 54, Ease not to act another, be satisfied. 105 Your brother dies tomorrow, be content. Chapter 1, Sab, so you must be the first that gives this sentence. And he that suffers, oh, it is excellent. To have a giant's strength, but it is tyrannous. To use it like a giant. Chapter 50, Lucio. That's well saw Isab, could great men thunder. As Jove himself does, Jove would ne'er be quiet. For every pelting, petty officer would use his heaven for thunder. Nothing but thunder, merciful heaven. 115 Thou rather with thy sharp and sulphurous bolt splitst the unwedgeable and gnarled oak than the soft myrtle, but man, proud man. Chapter 500, Rest in a little brief authority. Chapter 1000, Asked ignorant of what he's most assured. 120, His glassy essence, like an angry ape, plays such fantastic tricks before high heaven, as make the angels weep, who, with our spleens, would all themselves laugh mortal. Chapter 50, Lucio, oh to him, wench, he will relent. He's coming, I perceive it. Chapter 2 125, Prav. Pray heaven she win him. Chapter 1, Sab, we cannot weigh our brother with ourself. Great men may jest with saints, ties wit in them, but in the less foul profanation. Chapter 50, Lucio, thou'rt I the right girl more o that. 130 Isab, that in the captain s but a choleric word, which in the soldier is flat blasphemy. Chapter 50, Lucio, art avised o that, more aunt. Ang, why do you put these sayings upon me? Chapter 1, Sab, because authority, though it like others. 135, hath yet a kind of medicine in itself. That skins the vice o the top, go to your bosom. Knock there, and ask your heart what it doth know. That's like my brother's fault, if it confess a natural guiltiness such as is his. 140. Let it not sound a thought upon your tongue. Against my brother's life. Ang. She speaks and tease. Such sense that my sense breeds with it, fair Yui. Chapter 1, Sab, gentle my lord turn back. Ang I will bethink me, come again tomorrow. 145 Isab, hark how I'll bribe you, good my lord turn back. Ang how, bribe me. Chapter 1, Sab, I with such gifts that heaven shall share with you. Chapter 50, Lucio, Jan had marred all else. Chapter 1, Sab, not with fond shekels of the tested gold. Chapter 2, 150, or stones whose rates are either rich or poor. As fancy values them, but with true prayers. That shall be up at heaven, and enter there. Ere sunrise, prayers from preserved souls. From fasting maids, whose minds are dedicate. To nothing, tempora ang. Well, come to me tomorrow. Chapter 50, Lucio, go to, tease well, away. Chapter 1, Sab, heaven keep your honor safe. Ang. Amen. For I am that way, going to temptation. Where prayers cross. Chapter 1, Sab. At what hour tomorrow shall I attend your lordship? 160 Ang. At any time, forenoon. Chapter 1, Sab, save your honor. Exeunt Isabella, Lucio, and Provost. Ang. From thee, even from thy virtue. What's this, is this her fault or mine? The tempter or the tempted, who sins most? 165 Not she, nor doth she tempt, but it is I. That, lying by the violet in the sun. Chapter 500, Oh, as the carrion does, not as the flower. Chapter 100, Orupt with virtuous season, can it be? That modesty may more betray our sense. 170, Than woman's lightness, having waste ground enough. Shall we desire to raise the sanctuary? And pitch our evils there, O fie. What dost thou, or what art thou, Angelo? Chapter 500, Ost thou desire her foully for those things? Chapter 2, 175, That make her good, oh, let her brother live. Thieves for their robbery have authority. When judges steal themselves, what do I love her? That I desire to hear her speak again. And feast upon her eyes, what is't I dream on? 180 O cunning enemy, that, to catch a saint. With saints dost bait thy hook, most dangerous. Chapter 1, Is that temptation that doth goad us on? To sin in loving virtue, never could the strumpet. With all her double vigor, art, and nature. 185 Once stir my temper, but this virtuous maid subdues me quite, ever till now. When men were fond, I smiled and wondered how. Exit. Chapter 2, 3 Scene I, a room in a prison. Enter, severally, Duke disguised as a friar and provost. Chapter 500, Uke, hail to you, provost, so I think you are. Prov, I am the provost, what's your will, good friar? Chapter 500, Uke, bound by my charity and my blessed order. Chapter 1, Come to visit the afflicted spirits. 5 Here in the prison, do me the common right. To let me see them, and to make me know the nature of their crimes, that I may minister to them accordingly. Prov, I would do more than that, if more were needful. Enter Juliet. 10 Look, here comes one, a gentlewoman of mine, who, falling in the flaws of her own youth, hath blistered her report, she is with child. And he that got it sentenced, a young man. Chapter 1000, or fit to do another such offense. 15, than die for this. Chapter 500, Uke, when must he die? Prov. As I do think, tomorrow. Chapter 1, have provided for you, stay a while to Juliet. And you shall be conducted. Chapter 500, Uke, repent you fair one of the sin you carry. 20 Jul, I do, and bear the shame most patiently. Chapter 500, Uke, I'll teach you how you shall arraign your conscience. And try your penitence, if it be sound. Or hollowly put on. Jul. Chapter 1, I'll gladly learn. Chapter 500, Uke, love you the man that wronged you. Chapter 2-3. 25 Jul, yes, as I love the woman that wronged him. Chapter 500, Uke, so then it seems your most offenseful act was mutually committed. Jul. Chapter 1000, Usually. Chapter 500, Uke, then was your sin of heavier kind than his. Jul, I do confess it, and repent it, father. 30 Duke, tease meet so, daughter, but lest you do repent. As that the sin hath brought you to this shame. Which sorrow is always towards ourselves, not heaven. Showing we would not spare heaven, as we love it. But as we stand in fear. 35 Jul, I do repent me, as it is an evil. And take the shame with joy. Chapter 500, Uke. There rest. Your partner, as I hear, must die tomorrow. And I am going, with instruction to him. Grace go with you, benedicite, exit. 40 Jul, must die tomorrow, O injurious love. That respites me a life, whose very comfort. Chapter 1, is still a dying horror. Prov. Tis pity of him. Exeunt. Chapter 2, foreseen IV, a room in Angelo's house. Enter Angelo. Ang, when I would pray and think, I think and pray. To several subjects, heaven hath my empty words. Whilst my invention, hearing not my tongue. Anchors on Isabel, heaven in my mouth. 5 as if I did, but only chew his name. And in my heart, the strong and swelling evil. Of my conception, the state whereon I studied. Chapter 1, S like a good thing being often read. Grown feared and tedious, yea, my gravity. 10 wherein, let no man hear me, I take pride. Chapter 100, would I with boot change for an idle plume. Which the air bats for vain, O place, O form. How often dost thou with thy case, thy habit, wrench off from fools, and tie the wiser souls. 15 to thy false seeming, blood, thou art blood. Chapter 50, et, s right good angel on the devil's horn. Tease not the devil's crest. Enter a servant. How now, who's there? Serve 1 Isabel, a sister, desires access to you. Ang, teach her the way, O heavens. 20 Why does my blood thus muster to my heart? Chapter 1000, aching both it unable for itself, and dispossessing all my other parts of necessary fitness. So play the foolish throngs with one that swoons. Chapter 2-4. 25 Come all to help him, and so stop the air, by which he should revive, and even so. The general, subject to a well-wished king, quit their own part, and in obsequious fondness. Chapter 100, Road to his presence, where their untaught love. Chapter 1000, Us needs appear offense. Enter Isabella. 30 How now, fair maid. Chapter 1 Sab, I am come to know your pleasure. Ang, that you might know it, would much better please me than to demand what tease your brother cannot live. Chapter 1 Sab, even so, heaven keep your honor. 35 Ang, yet may he live a while, and it may be as long as you or I, yet he must die. Chapter 1 Sab, under your sentence. Ang, yea. Chapter 1 Sab, when I beseech you, that in his reprieve 40 longer or shorter, he may be so fitted that his soul sicken not. Ang ha fi these filthy vices, it were as good to pardon him that hath from nature stolen a man already made, as to remit 45 their saucy sweetness that do coin heaven's image. Chapter 1 And stamps that are forbid, tease all as easy falsely to take away a life true made as to put metal in restrained means to make a false one. Chapter 2 4 50 Isab, tease set down so in heaven but not in earth. Ang, say you so, then I shall pose you quickly. Which had you rather, that the most just law now took your brother's life, or to redeem him give up your body to such sweet uncleanness as she that he hath stained? 55 Isab. Sir, believe this. Chapter 1 Had rather give my body than my soul. Ang, I talk not of your soul, our compelled sins stand more for number than for account. Chapter 1 Sab. How say you? Ang, nay, I'll not warrant that, for I can speak 60 against the thing I say. Answer to this. Chapter 1 Now the voice of the recorded law. Pronounce a sentence on your brother's life. Chapter 1001 GHT There not be a charity in sin to save this brother's life. Chapter 1 Sab. Please you to dart 65 I'll take it as a peril to my soul. Chapter 1 T is no sin at all but charity. Ang, pleased you to dart at peril of your soul were equal poise of sin and charity. Chapter 1 Sab, that I do beg his life if it be sin. 70 Heaven let me bear it, you granting of my suit. Chapter 1 If that be sin, I'll make it my morn prayer to have it added to the faults of mine, and nothing of your answer. Ang. Nay, but hear me. Your sense pursues not mine, either you are ignorant. Chapter 2 4 75 Or seem so craftily, and that's not good. Chapter 1 Sab, let me be ignorant and in nothing good, but graciously to know I am no better. Ang, thus wisdom wishes to appear most bright, when it doth tax itself, as these black masks 80 proclaim and enshield beauty 10 times louder than beauty could displayed. But mark me, to be received plain, I'll speak more gross. Your brother is to die. Chapter 1 Sab so 85 Ang, and his offense is so as it appears, accountant to the law upon that pain. Chapter 1 Sab true. Ang, admit no other way to save his life, as I subscribe not that, nor any other. 90 But in the loss of question, that you, his sister, finding yourself desired of such a person, whose credit with the judge or own great place. Chapter 100 Would fetch your brother from the manacles of the all-building law, and that there was 95 no earthly mean to save him, but that either you must lay down the treasures of your body to this supposed, or else to let him suffer What would you do? Chapter 1, Sab, as much for my poor brother as myself. Chapter 2, 4. 100, that is, were I under the terms of death. The impression of keen whips I'd wear as rubies, and strip myself to death as to a bed. That longing have been sick for, ere I'd yield. Chapter 1000, why body up to shame? Ang. Then must your brother die. 105, Isab, and twere the cheaper way. Better it were a brother died at once, than that a sister, by redeeming him, should die for ever. Ang, were not you then as cruel as the sentence? 110, that you have slandered so. Chapter 1, Sab, ignominy and ransom and free pardon are of two houses, lawful mercy. Chapter 1, nothing kin to foul redemption. Ang, you seemed of late to make the law a tyrant. 115, and rather proved the sliding of your brother a merriment than a vice. Chapter 1, Sab, oh pardon me my lord, it oft falls out. To have what we would have, we speak not what we mean. Chapter 1, something do excuse the thing I hate. 120, for his advantage that I dearly love. Ang, we are all frail. Chapter 1, Sab, else let my brother die. Chapter 1, not a feedery, but only he. Oh, and succeed thy weakness. Ang, nay, women are frail too. Chapter 2, 4. 125, Isab, I, as the glasses where they view themselves, which are as easy broke as they make forms. Women help heaven, men their creation mart. Chapter 1, profiting by them, nay, call us 10 times frail. For we are soft as our complexions are, and credulous to false prints. 130, Ang. Chapter 1, think it well, and from this testimony of your own sex, since I suppose we are made to be no stronger than faults may shake our frames, let me be bold. Chapter 1, do arrest your words, be that you are. 135, that is, a woman, if you be more you're none. Chapter 1, if you be one, as you are well expressed. By all external warrants, show it now. By putting on the destined livery. Chapter 1, Sab, I have no tongue but one, gentle my lord. 140, let me entreat you speak the former language. Ang, plainly conceive, I love you. Chapter 1, Sab, my brother did love Juliet, and you tell me that he shall die for it. Ang, he shall not, Isabel, if you give me love. 145, Isab, I know your virtue hath a license in't, which seems a little fouler than it is, to pluck on others. Ang, believe me, on mine honor. Chapter 1000, why words express my purpose. Chapter 1, Sab, ha, little honor to be much believed. Chapter 2, 4. 150, and most pernicious purpose, seeming. Chapter 1, will proclaim thee, Angelo, look for't. Sign me a present pardon for my brother, or with an outstretched throat, I'll tell the world aloud what man thou art. Ang, who will believe thee, Isabel? 155, my unsoiled name, the austereness of my life. Chapter 1000, why vouch against you, and my place I the state will so your accusation overweigh, that you shall stifle in your own report, and smell of calumny I have begun. 160, and now I give my sensual race the rein. Fit thy consent to my sharp appetite. Chapter 50, I by all nicety and prolicious blushes, that banish what they sue for, redeem thy brother, by yielding up thy body to my will. 165, or else he must not only die the death, but thy unkindness shall his death draw out. To lingering sufferance, answer me tomorrow, or by the affection that now guides me most. Chapter 1, I'll prove a tyrant to him, as for you. 170, say what you can, my false always your true. Exit. Chapter 1, Sab, to whom should I complain, did I tell this? Who would believe me, O perilous mouths, that bear in them one and the self-same tongue, either of condemnation or a proof? Chapter 2, 4. 175, bidding the law make courtsway to their will, hooking both right and wrong to the appetite, to follow as it draws, I'll to my brother, though he hath fallen by prompture of the blood, yet hath he in him such a mind of honor. 180, that, had he 20 heads to tender down, on 20 bloody blocks he'll yield them up, before his sister should her body stoop to such abhorred pollution. Then Isabel, live chaste, and brother die. 185, more than our brother is our chastity. Chapter 1, I'll tell him yet of Angelo's request, and fit his mind to death for his soul's rest. Exit. Act 3. Chapter 3, one scene, a room in the prison. Enter Duke, disguised as before, Claudio and Provost. Chapter 500, Uke, so then you hope of pardon from Lord Angelo. Chapter 150, Odd, the miserable have no other medicine, but only hope. Chapter 1, we hope to live, and am prepared to die. 5 Duke, be absolute for death, either death or life, shall thereby be the sweeter, reason thus with life. Chapter 1, if I do lose thee, I do lose a thing that none but fools would keep, a breath thou art, servile to all the sky influences. 10 that dost this habitation, where thou keep'st thee, hourly afflict, merely thou art death's fool. For him thou labour'st by thy flight to shun, and yet run'st toward him still, thou art not noble, for all the accommodations that thou bear'st. 15 are nursed by baseness, thou'rt by no means valiant, for thou dost fear the soft and tender fork of a poor worm. Thy best of rest is sleep, and that thou oft provokest, yet grossly fear'st. Thy death which is no more, thou art not thyself. 24 thou exist'st on many a thousand grains that issue out of dust, happy thou art not, for what thou hast not, still thou strivest to get, and what thou hast forget'st, thou art not certain, for thy complexion shift to strange effects. Chapter 3, 1. 25 after the moon, if thou art rich, thou'rt poor, for like an ass whose back with ingots bows, thou bear'st thy heavy riches but a journey, and death unloads thee, friend hast thou none, for thine own bowels, which do call thee sire. 30 the mere effusion of thy proper loins. Chapter 500, O curse the gout, serpigo, and the rheum, for ending thee no sooner, thou hast nor youth nor age, but as it were, an after dinner's sleep. Chapter 500, reaming on both, for all thy blessed use. 35 becomes as aged, and doth beg the alms of palsied eld, and when thou art old and rich, thou hast neither heat, affection, limb, nor beauty, to make thy riches pleasant. What's yet in this that bears the name of life, yet in this life 40 lie hid more thousand deaths, yet death we fear. That makes these odds all even. Chapter 150, Odd. Chapter 1, Humbly Thank You. To sue to live, I find I seek to die. And seeking death, find life, let it come on. Chapter 1, Sab, what ho, peace here, grace and good company. 45 Prav, who's there, come in, the wish deserves a welcome. Chapter 500, Uke, dear sir, ere long I'll visit you again. Chapter 150, Odd, most holy sir, I thank you. Enter Isabella. Chapter 1, Sab, my business is a word or two with Claudio. Prav and very welcome, look Signia here's your 50 sister. Chapter 500, Uke, provost, a word with you. Prav, as many as you please. Chapter 500, Uke, bring me to hear them speak, where I may be concealed. Exeunt Duke and Provost. 55 Claude, now sister what's the comfort? Chapter 1, Sab, why? As all comforts are, most good indeed. Chapter 50, Ord Angelo, having affairs to heaven. Chapter 1, intends you for his swift ambassador. 60, where you shall be an everlasting liger. Therefore, your best appointment make with speed. Tomorrow you set on. Chapter 150, Odd. Chapter 1, there no remedy? Chapter 1, Sab, none but such remedy as to save a head. To cleave a heart in twain. Chapter 150, Odd. But is there any? 65 Isab, yes, brother, you may live. There is a devilish mercy in the judge. Chapter 1, if you'll implore it, that will free your life. But fetter you till death. Chapter 150, Odd. Perpetual durance. Chapter 1, Sab, I just, perpetual durance a restraint. 70, though all the world's vastity you had. To a determined scope. Chapter 150, Odd. But in what nature? Chapter 1, Sab, in such a one as you consenting taught. Would bark your honor from that trunk you bear, and leave you naked. Chapter 150, Odd. Chapter 50, let me know the point. Chapter 3, 1. 75 Isab, oh I do fear thee, Claudio, and I quake. Chapter 50, est thou a feverous life shouldst entertain, and 6 or 7 winters more respect than a perpetual honor darest thou die. 75, the sense of death is most in apprehension, and the poor beetle that we tread upon. Chapter 1, in corporal sufferance finds a pang as great as when a giant dies. Chapter 150, Odd. Why give you me this shame? Think you I can a resolution fetch? 80 from flowery tenderness, if I must die. Chapter 1, will encounter darkness as a bride, and hug it in mine arms. Chapter 1, Sab, there spake my brother, there my father's grave. Chapter 999, utter forth a voice, yes, thou must die. 85, thou art too noble to conserve a life. Chapter 1, en base appliances, this outward sainted deputy, whose settled visage and deliberate word nips youth I the head, and follies doth emu. As falcon doth the fowl, is yet a devil. 90 his filth within being cast, he would appear a pond as deep as hell. Chapter 150, Odd. The Prenzy, Angelo. Chapter 1, Sab, oh, tease the cunning livery of hell. The damn'sty body to invest and cover. Chapter 1, en Prenzy guards, dost thou think, Claudio? 95 If I would yield him my virginity, thou mightst be freed. Chapter 150 Odd. O heavens, it cannot be. Chapter 1 Sab, yes, he would give it thee from this rank offence. So to offend him still, this night's the time, that I should do what I abhor to name. Or else thou deest tomorrow. Chapter 3 1 100 Claude. Thou shalt not dart. Chapter 1 Sab, oh, were it but my life. Chapter 1 LD, throw it down for your deliverance, as frankly as a pin. Chapter 150 Odd. Thanks, dear Isabel. Chapter 1 Sab, be ready, Claudio, for your death tomorrow. 105 Claude, yes, has he affections in him that thus can make him bite the law by the nose? When he would force it, sure it is no sin. Or of the deadly 7, it is the least. Chapter 1 Sab, which is the least? 110 Claude, if it were damnable, he being so wise, why would he, for the momentary trick, be perdurably fined, O Isabel? Chapter 1 Sab, what says my brother? Chapter 150 Odd. Chapter 500 Eth is a fearful thing. Chapter 1 Sab, and shamed life a hateful Claude, aye, but to die and go we know not where. To lie in cold obstruction and to rot. This sensible warm motion to become a needed clod and the delighted spirit. To bathe in fiery floods or to reside 120 in thrilling region of thick-ribbed ice. To be imprisoned in the viewless winds and blown with restless violence round about the pendant world, or to be worse than worst of those that lawless and uncertain thought. Chapter 3 1 125 Imagine howling, 'tis too horrible. The weariest and most loathed worldly life. That age, ache, penury, and imprisonment. Chapter 100 And lay on nature is a paradise. To what we fear of death. Chapter 1 Sab, alas, alas. 130 Claude. Sweet sister, let me live. What sin you do to save a brother's life? Nature dispenses with the deed so far that it becomes a virtue. Chapter 1 Sab. O you beast! O faithless coward! O dishonest wretch! 135 Wilt thou be made a man out of my vice? Chapter 1 Est not a kind of incest to take life from thine own sister's shame, what should I think? Heaven shield, my mother played my father fair for such a warped slip of wilderness. 140 Ne'er issued from his blood, take my defiance. Chapter 501 Perish, might but my bending down reprieve thee from thy fate, it should proceed. Chapter 1 I'll pray 1,000 prayers for thy death. No word to save thee. Chapter 150 Odd, nay, hear me, Isab. O fi. Thy sin's not accidental, but a trade. Chapter 1000 Ursi to thee would prove itself a bawd. 'Tis best that thou deest quickly. Chapter 150 Odd. Oh, hear me, Isabella. Re-enter Duke. Chapter 500 Uke, vouchsafe a word, young sister, but one word. Chapter 3 1 150 Isab, what is your will? Chapter 500 Uke, might you dispense with your leisure, I would by and by have some speech with you. The satisfaction I would require is likewise your own benefit. Chapter 1 Sab, I have no superfluous leisure. My stay must be 155 stolen out of other affairs, but I will attend you a while. Walks apart. Chapter 500. Uke. Son, I have overheard what hath passed between you and your sister. Angelo had never the purpose to corrupt her, only he hath made an assay of her virtue to practice his judgment with the disposition of natures. 160 She, having the truth of honor in her, hath made him that gracious denial which he is most glad to receive. I am confessor to Angelo, and I know this to be true, therefore prepare yourself to death. Do not satisfy your resolution with hopes that are fallible. Tomorrow you must die. Go 165 to your knees and make ready. Chapter 150. Odd. Let me ask my sister pardon. I am so out of love with life that I will sue to be rid of it. Chapter 500. Uke. Hold you there. Farewell. Provost, a word with you. Re-enter Provost. 170 Prov. What's your will, father? Chapter 500. Uke. That now you are come, you will be gone. Leave me a while with the maid. My mind promises with my habit no loss shall touch her by my company. Prov. In good time. Exit Provost. Isabella comes forward. Chapter 3. 1. 175 Duke. The hand that hath made you fair hath made you good. The goodness that is cheap in beauty makes beauty brief in goodness. But grace, being the soul of your complexion, shall keep the body of it ever fair. The assault that Angelo hath made to you, fortune hath conveyed to 180 my understanding, and but that frailty hath examples for his falling, I should wonder at Angelo. How will you do to content this substitute, and to save your brother? Chapter 1. Sab. I am now going to resolve him. I had rather my brother die by the law than my son should be unlawfully 185 born. But oh, how much is the good Duke deceived in Angelo! If ever he return and I can speak to him, I will open my lips in vain, or discover his government. Chapter 500. Uke. That shall not be much amiss, yet, as the matter now stands, he will avoid your accusation, he made triumph you only. Therefore fasten your ear on my advisings, to the love I have in doing good a remedy presents itself. I do make myself believe that you may most uprighteously do a poor wronged lady a merited benefit, redeem your brother from the angry law, do no stain to your own gracious 195 person, and much please the absent Duke, if peradventure he shall ever return to have hearing of this business. Chapter 1. Sab. Let me hear you speak farther. I have spirit to do anything that appears not foul in the truth of my spirit. Chapter 500. Uke. Virtue is bold and goodness never fearful. Have 200 you not heard speak of Mariana, the sister of Frederick, the great soldier who miscarried at sea? Chapter 1. Sab. I have heard of the lady, and good words went with her name. Chapter 500. Uke. She should this Angelo have married, was affiancito her by oath, and the nuptial appointed, between which time of the contract and limit of the solemnity, her brother Frederick was wrecked at sea, having in that perished vessel the dowry of his sister. But mark how heavily this befell to the poor gentlewoman. There she lost a noble 210 and renowned brother, in his love toward her ever most kind and natural. With him, the portion and sinew of her fortune, her marriage dowry. With both, her combinate husband, this well-seeming Angelo. Chapter 1. Sab. Can this be so? Did Angelo so leave her? 215 Duke. Left her in her tears, and dried not one of them with his comfort, swallowed his vows whole, pretending in her discoveries of dishonor. In few, bestowed her on her own lamentation, which she yet wears for his sake. And he, a marble to her tears, is washed with them, but relents not. 220 Isab. What a merit were it in death, to take this poor 342 maid from the world. What corruption in this life, that it will let this man live. But how out of this can she avail? Chapter 500. Uke. It is a rupture that you may easily heal, and the cure of it not only saves your brother, but keeps you. 225. From dishonor in doing it. Chapter 1. Sab. Show me how, good father. Chapter 500. Uke. This forenamed maid hath yet in her the continuance of her first affection, his unjust unkindness, that in all reason should have quenched her love, hath, like an impediment 230 in the current, made it more violent and unruly. Go you to Angelo, answer his requiring with a plausible obedience, agree with his demands to the point, only refer yourself to this advantage first, that your stay with him may not be long, that the time may have all shadow ansolence in it, and the place answer to convenience. This being granted in course, and now follows all, we shall advise this wronged maid to stead up your appointment, go in your place. If the encounter acknowledge itself hereafter, it may compel him to her recompense. And here, by 240 this, is your brother saved, your honor untainted, the poor Mariana advantaged, and the corrupt deputy scaled. The maid will I frame and make fit for his attempt. If you think well to carry this as you may, the doubleness of the benefit defends the deceit from reproof. What think 245 you of it? Chapter 1, Sab. The image of it gives me content already, and I trust it will grow to a most prosperous perfection. Chapter 500, Uke. It lies much in your holding up. Haste you speedily to Angelo, if for this night he entreat you to his 250 bed, give him promise of satisfaction. I will presently to St. Luke's. There, at the moated grange, resides this dejected Mariana. At that place call upon me, and dispatch with Angelo, that it may be quickly. Chapter 1, Sab. I thank you for this comfort. Fare you well, 255 good father. Exeunt severally. Chapter 3, 2 Scene II, the street before the prison. Enter on one side, Duke disguised as before, on the other, Elbow and officers with Pompey. Elb, nay, if there be no remedy for it, but that you will needs buy and sell men and women like beasts, we shall have all the world drink brown and white bastard. Chapter 500, Uke, O heavens, what stuff is here? 5 Palm. 'Twas never merry world since, of 2 usuries, the merriest was put down, and the worser allowed by order of law a furred gown to keep him warm, and furred with fox and lambskins too, to signify that craft, being richer than innocency, stands for the facing. 10 Elb, come your way, sir. Bless you, good father friar. Chapter 500, Uke, and you, good brother father, what offence hath this man made you, sir? Elb, marry, sir, he hath offended the law, and, sir, we take him to be a thief too, sir, for we have found upon him 15, sir, a strange picklock, which we have sent to the deputy. Chapter 500, Uke, Phi Sira, a bawd, a wicked bawd. The evil that thou causest to be done. That is thy means to live, do thou but think. What tease to cram a maw or clothe a back? 20 from such a filthy vice, say to thyself. From their abominable and beastly touches. Chapter 1, Drink, I eat, array myself and live. Chapter 100, Anst thou believe thy living is a life? So stinkingly depending, go mend, go mend. Chapter 3-2. 25 Palm. Indeed, it does stink in some sort, sir, but yet, sir, I would prove. Chapter 500, Uke. Nay, if the devil have given thee proofs for sin, thou wilt prove his, take him to prison, officer. Chapter 100, Erection and instruction must both work. 30 Ere, this rude beast will profit. Elb, he must before the deputy, sir, he has given him warning, the deputy cannot abide a whoremaster, if he be a whoremonger and comes before him, he were as good go a mile on his errand, Duke, that we were all, as some would seem to be. From our faults, as faults from seeming free. Elb, his neck will come to your waist, a cord, sir. Palm, I spy comfort, I cry bail, here's a gentleman and a friend of mine. Enter Lucio. 40 Lucio, how now, noble Pompey, what at the wheels of Caesar art thou led in triumph? What, is there none of Pygmalion's images, newly made woman, to be had now for putting the hand in the pocket and extracting it clutched? What reply, ha? What sayest thou to this tune? 45 Matter and method. Is't not drowned I the last rain, ha? What sayest thou, trot? Is the world as it was, man? Which is the way? Is it sad and few words, or how? The trick of it. Chapter 500, Uke, still thus and thus, still worse. Chapter 3-2. 50 Lucio, how doth my dear morsel thy mistress, procure she still ha? Palm, troth, sir, she hath eaten up all her beef, and she is herself in the tub. Chapter 50, Lucio, why 'tis good, it is the right of it, it must be 55 so, ever your fresh whore and your powdered bawd, an unshunned consequence, it must be so. Art going to prison, Pompey? Palm, yes, faith, sir. Chapter 50, Lucio, why 'tis not amiss, Pompey, farewell, go 60 say I sent thee thither, for debt, Pompey, or how? Elb, for being a bawd, for being a bawd. Chapter 50, Lucio, well then imprison him, if imprisonment be the due of a bawd, why 'tis his right, bawd is he doubtless, and of antiquity too, bawd born, farewell, good Pompey. 65 commend me to the prison, Pompey, you will turn good husband now, Pompey, you will keep the house. Palm, I hope, sir, your good worship will be my bail. Chapter 50, Lucio, no indeed will I not, Pompey, it is not the where. I will pray, Pompey, to increase your bondage. If 70 you take it not patiently, why your metal is the more. Adieu, trusty Pompey, bless you, friar. Chapter 500, Uke and you. Chapter 50, Lucio, does Bridget paint still, Pompey ha? Elb, come your ways, sir, come. Chapter 3-2. 75 Palm, you will not bail me then, sir. Chapter 50, Lucio, then Pompey nor now, what news abroad, friar, what news? Elb, come your ways, sir, come. Chapter 50, Lucio, go to kennel, Pompey go, exeunt elbow 80 Pompeian officers, what news, friar of the Duke? Chapter 500, Uke, I know none, can you tell me of any? Chapter 50, Lucio, some say he is with the Emperor of Russia, other some he is in Rome, but where is he, think you? Chapter 500, Uke, I know not where, but wheresoever I wish well. Chapter 50, Lucio, it was a mad fantastical trick of him to steal from the state, and usurp the beggary he was never born to. Lord Angelo dukes it well in his absence, he puts transgression taught. 90 Duke, he does well in't. Chapter 50, Lucio, a little more lenity to lechery would do no harm in him, something too crabbed that way, friar. Chapter 500, Uke, it is too general a vice, and severity must cure it. 95 Lucio, yes, in good sooth, the vice is of a great kindred, it is well allied, but it is impossible to extirp it quite, friar, till eating and drinking be put down. They say this Angelo was not made by man and woman after this downright way of creation. Is it true, think you? Chapter 3-2. 100 Duke, how should he be made then? Chapter 50, Lucio, some report a sea maid spawned him, some that he was begot between two stock fishes, but it is certain that, when he makes water, his urine is congealed ice, that I know to be true, and he is a motion generative, 105 that's infallible. Chapter 500, Uke, you are pleasant, sir, and speak apace. Chapter 50, Lucio, why what a ruthless thing is this in him, for the rebellion of a codpiece to take away the life of a man. Would the Duke that is absent have done this? Ere he 110 would have hanged a man for the getting 100 bastards, he would have paid for the nursing 1,000. He had some feeling of the sport, he knew the service, and that instructed him to mercy. Chapter 500, Uke, I never heard the absent Duke much detecter for women, he was not inclined that way. Chapter 50, Lucio, oh sir, you are deceived. Chapter 500, Uke, 'tis not possible. Chapter 50, Lucio, who not the Duke? Yes, your beggar of 50, and his use was to put a ducat in her clackdish. The Duke 120 had crotchets in him, he would be drunk too, that let me inform you. Chapter 500, Uke, you do him wrong surely. Chapter 50, Lucio, sir, I was an inward of his. A shy fellow was the Duke, and I believe I know the cause of his. 125, withdrawing. Chapter 500, Uke, what I prithee might be the cause. Chapter 50, Lucio, no, pardon, 'tis a secret must be locked within the teeth and the lips, but this I can let you understand, the greater file of the subject held the Duke to be wise. 130 Duke, wise, why no question but he was. Chapter 50, Lucio, a very superficial, ignorant, unweighing fellow. Chapter 500, Uke, either this is envy in you, folly, or mistaking, the very stream of his life and the business he hath helmed must, upon a warranted need, give him a better proclamation. 135 Let him be but testimonied in his own bringings forth, and he shall appear to the envious, a scholar, a statesman, and a soldier. Therefore you speak unskilfully, or if your knowledge be more, it is much darkened in your malice. 140 Lucio, sir, I know him, and I love him. Chapter 500, Uke, love talks with better knowledge, and knowledge with dearer love. Chapter 50, Lucio, come sir, I know what I know. Chapter 500, Uke, I can hardly believe that, since you know not 145 what you speak, but if ever the Duke return, as our prayers are he may, let me desire you to make your answer before him. If it be honest you have spoke, you have courage to maintain it, I am bound to call upon you, and I pray you, your name. Chapter 32, 150 Lucio, sir, my name is Lucio, well known to the Duke. Chapter 500, Uke, he shall know you better, sir, if I may live to report you. Chapter 50, Lucio, I fear you not. 155 Duke, oh, you hope the Duke will return no more, or you imagine me too unhurtful and opposite, but indeed, I can do you little harm, you'll forswear this again. Chapter 50, Lucio, I'll be hanged first, thou art deceived in me, friar, but no more of this. Canst thou tell if Claudio die 160 tomorrow or no? Chapter 500, Uke, why should he die, sir? Chapter 50, Lucio, why, for filling a bottle with a tun dish. I would the Duke we talk of were returned again. This ungenitured agent will unpeople the province with continency. 165 sparrows must not build in his house eaves, because they are lecherous. The Duke yet would have dark deeds darkly answered. He would never bring them to light. Would he were returned. Marry, this Claudio is condemned for untrussing. Farewell, good friar, I prithee pray for 170 me. The Duke, I say to thee again, would eat mutton on Fridays. He's not past it yet, and I say to thee, he would mouth with a beggar, though she smelt brown bread and garlic. Say that I said so. Farewell, exit. Chapter 500, Uke, no might nor greatness in mortality. Chapter 32, 175 Can censure scape, back-wounding calumny. The whitest virtue strikes, what king so strong? Chapter 100, and tie the gall up in the slanderous tongue. But who comes here? Enter Escalus, provost, and officers with mistress overdone. Escal, go, away with her to prison. 180 Mrs. Of, good my lord, be good to me, your honor is accounted a merciful man, good my lord. Escal, double and treble admonition, and still forfeit in the same kind. This would make mercy swear, and play the tyrant. 185 Prov, a bawd of 11 years, continuance, may it please your honor. Chapter 1000, Arrest of, my lord, this is one Lucio's information against me. Mistress Kate Keepton was with child by 349 him in the Duke's time. He promised her marriage. His 190 child is a year and a quarter old, come Philip and Jacob. I have kept it myself, and see how he goes about to abuse me. Escal, that fellow is a fellow of much license, let him be called before us. Away with her to prison, go 195 to, no more words. Exeunt officers with mistress of. Provost, my brother Angelo will not be altered. Claudio must die tomorrow. Let him be furnished with divines, and have all charitable preparation. If my brother wrought by my pity, it should not be so with him. Chapter 32, 200 Prov, so please you, this friar hath been with him, and advised him for the entertainment of death. Escal, good even, good father. Chapter 500, Uke, bliss and goodness on you. Eskel, of whence are you? 205 Duke, not of this country, though my chance is now. To use it for my time, I am a brother. Of gracious order, late come from the sea. Chapter 1, en special business from His Holiness. Eskel, what news abroad the world? 210 Duke. None, but that there is so great a fever on goodness, that the dissolution of it must cure it. Novelty is only in request, and it is as dangerous to be aged in any kind of course, as it is virtuous to be constant in any undertaking. There is scarce truth enough alive to make societies 215 secure, but security enough to make fellowships accursed. Much upon this riddle runs the wisdom of the world. This news is old enough, yet it is every day's news. I pray you, sir, of what disposition was the Duke? Eskel, one that, above all other strifes, contend specially to know himself. Chapter 500, Uke, what pleasure was he given to? Eskel, rather rejoicing to see another merry than 350 merry at anything which professed to make him rejoice, a gentleman of all temperance, but leave we him to his. 225 events, with a prayer they may prove prosperous, and let me desire to know how you find Claudio prepared. I am made to understand that you have lent him visitation. Chapter 500, Uke, he professes to have received no sinister measure from his judge, but most willingly humbles himself to 230 the determination of justice, yet had he framed to himself, by the instruction of his frailty, many deceiving promises of life, which I, by my good leisure, have discredited to him, and now is he resolved to die. Eskel, you have paid the heavens your function, and, prisoner, the very debt of your calling. I have labored for the poor gentleman to the extremest shore of my modesty, but my brother Justice have I found so severe, that he hath forced me to tell him he is indeed Justice. Chapter 500, Uke, if his own life answer the straightness of his proceeding, 240 it shall become him well, wherein if he chance to fail, he hath sentenced himself. Eskel, I am going to visit the prisoner, fare you well. Chapter 500, Uke, peace be with you. Exeunt Escalus and Provost. He who the sword of heaven will bear. 245, should be as holy as severe. Pattern in himself to know. Grace to stand, and virtue go. Chapter 1000, or nor less to others paying than by self-offences weighing. Chapter 3-2, 250 shame to him whose cruel striking kills for faults of his own liking. Twice treble shame on Angelo, to weed my vice and let his grow. Oh, what may man within him hide? 255, though angel on the outward side. How may likeness, made in crimes? Chapter 1000, aching practice on the times, to draw with idle spiders strings. Chapter 1000, ost ponderous and substantial things. 260 craft against vice I must apply. With Angelo tonight shall lie. His old betrothed but despised. So disguise shall, by the disguised, pay with falsehood, false exacting. 265, and perform an old contracting. Exit. Act 4. Chapter 4, one scene the moated grange at St. Luke S. Enter Mariana and a boy. Boy sings. Take, oh, take those lips away, that so sweetly were forsworn, and those eyes, the break of day. Chapter 51, GHTS that do mislead the morn. 5, but my kisses bring again, bring again. Seals of love, but sealed in vain, sealed in vain. Chapter 1000, Ari, break off thy song and haste thee quick away. Here comes a man of comfort, whose advice hath often stilled my brawling discontent. Exit boy. Enter Duke, disguised as before. 10 I cry you mercy, sir, and well could wish you had not found me here so musical. Chapter 50, Let me excuse me, and believe me so. Chapter 1000, Why mirth it much displeased, but pleased my woe. Chapter 500, Uke, 'tis good, though music oft hath such a charter make bad good, and good provoke to harm. Chapter 1, Pray you, tell me, hath anybody inquired for me here today? Much upon this time have I promised here to meet. Chapter 1000, Ari, you have not been inquired after, I have sat here all day. Enter Isabella. 20 Duke, I do constantly believe you, the time is come even now, I shall crave your forbearance a little, maybe I will call upon you anon, for some advantage to yourself. Chapter 1000, Ari, I am always bound to you, exit. Chapter 500, Uke, very well met and well come. Chapter 4, 1. 25, What is the news from this good deputy? Chapter 1, Sab, he hath a garden circummured with brick, whose western side is with a vineyard backed, and to that vineyard is a planched gate. That makes his opening with this bigger key. 30 This other doth command a little door, which from the vineyard to the garden lades. There have I made my promise, upon the heavy middle of the night, to call upon Duke, but shall you on your knowledge find this way? Chapter 1, Sab, I have ta'en ado and wary note upon't, with whispering and most guilty diligence. Chapter 1, In action all of precept he did show me, the way twice o'er. Chapter 500, Uke. Are there no other tokens? 40 Between you, greed concerning her observance. Chapter 1, Sab, no none, but only a repair I the dark, and that I have possessed him, my most stay. Chapter 100, and be but brief, for I have made him know. Chapter 1, Have a servant comes with me along. 45 That stays upon me, whose persuasion is. Chapter 1, Come about my brother. Chapter 500, Uke. 'Tis well borne up. Chapter 1, Have not yet made known to Mariana. A word of this, what ho within, come forth. Re-enter Mariana. Chapter 1, Pray you, be acquainted with this maid. She comes to do you good. Chapter 4, 1. 50 Isab. Chapter 1, Do desire the like. Chapter 500, Uke, do you persuade yourself that I respect you? Chapter 1000, Ari, good friar, I know you do and have found it. Chapter 500, Uke, take then this your companion by the hand, who hath a story ready for your ear. 55 I shall attend your leisure, but make haste. The vaporous night approaches. Chapter 1000, Ari, wilt please you walk aside. Exeunt Mariana and Isabella. Chapter 500, Uke, O place and greatness, millions of false eyes are stuck upon thee, volumes of report. 60 Run with these false and most contrarious quests. Upon thy doings, 1,000 escapes of wit. Chapter 1000, Ache thee the father of their idle dreams, and rack thee in their fancies. Re-enter Mariana and Isabella. Welcome, how agreed. Chapter 1, Sab, shall take the enterprise upon her father. Chapter 1, If you advise it. 65 Duke. Chapter 1, T is not my consent, but my entreaty too. Chapter 1, Sab. Chapter 51, TTLE have you to say. When you depart from him, but soft and low. Remember now, my brothers. Chapter 1000, Ari. Fear me not. Chapter 500, Uke, nor, gentle daughter, fear you not, he is your husband on a pre-contract. To bring you thus together, 'tis no sin. Sith that the justice of your title to him. Chapter 500, Oth flourish the deceit, come let us go. Our corns to reap, for yet our tithes to sow. Exeunt. Chapter 4, 2 Scene II, a room in the prison. Enter Provost and Pompey. Prov, come hither, sirrah, can you cut off a man's head? Pom, if the man be a bachelor, sir, I can, but if he be a married man, he's his wife's head, and I can never cut off a woman's he. Prov. Come, sir, leave me your snatches, and yield me a direct answer. Tomorrow morning are to die Claudio and Barnardine. Here is in our prison a common executioner, who in his office lacks a helper. If you will take it on you to assist him, it shall redeem you from your gyves. 10 if not, you shall have your full time of imprisonment, and your deliverance with an unpitied whipping, for you have been a notorious bull. Palm, sir, I have been an unlawful bawd time out of mind, but yet I will be content to be a lawful hangman, would be glad to receive some instruction from my fellow partner. Prov, what ho, Abhorson, where's Abhorson there? Enter Abhorson. Abhor, do you call, sir? Prov, sirrah, here's a fellow will help you tomorrow 20 in your execution. If you think it meet, compound with him by the year, and let him abide here with you. If not, use him for the present, and dismiss him. He cannot plead his estimation with you, he hath been a bawd. Abhor a bawd, sir, fie upon him, he will discredit. 25, our mystery. Prov, go to, sir, you weigh equally, a feather will turn the scale. Exit. Palm, pray, sir, by your good favor, for surely, sir, a good favor you have, but that you have a hanging look. 30 do you call, sir, your occupation a mystery? Abhor, I, sir, a mystery. Palm, painting, sir, I have heard say, is a mystery, and your whores, sir, being members of my occupation, using painting, do prove my occupation a mystery. But 35, what mystery there should be in hanging, if I should be hanged, I cannot imagine. Abhor, sir, it is a mystery. Palm, the proof. Abhor, every true man's apparel fits your thief. If it 40 be too little for your thief, your true man thinks it big enough. If it be too big for your thief thinks it little enough. So every true man's apparel fits your thief. Re-enter Provost. Prov, are you agreed? Palm, sir, I will serve him, for I do find your hangman 45 is a more penitent trade than your bawd. He doth oftener ask forgiveness. Prov, you, sirrah, provide your block and your axe tomorrow 4 o'clock. Abhor, come on, bawd, I will instruct thee in my 50 trade, follow. Palm, I do desire to learn, sir, and I hope, if you have occasion to use me for your own turn, you shall find me yea. For truly, sir, for your kindness I owe you a good turn. 55 Prov, call hither Barnardine and Claudio. Exeunt Pompey and Abhorson. The one has my pity, not a jot the other. Being a murderer, though he were my brothers. Enter Claudio. Chapter 50, Uke, here's the warrant, Claudio, for thy death. 'Tis now dead midnight, and by 8 tomorrow. 60 thou must be made immortal, where's Barnardine? Chapter 150, Odd, as fast locked up in sleep as guiltless labor. When it lies starkly in the traveller's bones, he will not wake. Prov, who can do good on him? Well, go prepare yourself, knocking within, but hark what noise. 65 Heaven give your spirits comfort, by and by. Chapter 1, hope it is some pardon or reprieve. For the most gentle Claudio. Enter Duke, disguised as before. Welcome, Father. Chapter 500, Uke, the best and wholesomest spirits of the night. Envelop you, good provost, who called here of late. 70 Prov, none since the curfew rung. Chapter 500, Uke, not Isabel. Prov. No. Chapter 500, Uke. They will, then, eret be long. Prov, what comfort is for Claudio. Chapter 500, Uke, there's some in hope. Prov. Chapter 1, T is a bitter deputy. Chapter 4-2. 75 Duke, not so, his life is paralleled, even with the stroke and line of his great justice. He doth with holy abstinence subdue that in himself which he spurs on his power, to qualify in others were he mealed with that 80 which he corrects, then were he tyrannous. But this being so, he's just knocking within. Now are they come. Exit provost. This is a gentle provost, seldom when the steel jailer is the friend of men, knocking within. How now, what noise, that spirit s possessed with haste. 85, that wounds the unsisting postern with these strokes. Re-enter provost. Prov, there he must stay until the officer arise to let him in, he is called up. Chapter 500, Uke, have you no countermand for Claudio yet? But he must die tomorrow. Prov. None, sir, none. 90 Duke, as near the dawning, provost, as it is. You shall hear more ere morning. Prov. Happily. You something know, yet I believe there comes no countermand, no such example have we. Besides, upon the very siege of justice, 95 Lord Angelo hath to the public ear professed the contrary. Enter a messenger. This is his lordship's man. Chapter 500, Uke, and here comes Claudio's pardon. Chapter 1000, Ease, my lord hath sent you this note, and by me this further charge, that you swerve not from the 100 smallest article of it, neither in time, matter, or other circumstance. Good morrow, for as I take it, it is almost day. Prov, I shall obey him. Exit messenger. Chapter 500, Uke, this is his pardon purchased by such sin, for which the pardoner himself is in 105 hence, hath offence his quick celerity, when it is born in high authority. When vice makes mercy, mercy's so extended, that for the fault's love is the offender friended. Now, sir, what news? 110 Prov. I told you, Lord Angelo, belike thinking me remiss in mine office, awakens me with this unwonted putting on, methinks strangely, for he hath not used it before. Chapter 500, Uke, pray you let's hear. Prov. Whatsoever you may hear to the contrary, let Claudio be executed before of the clock, and in the afternoon Barnardine. For my better satisfaction, let me have Claudio's head sent me by 359, let this be duly performed, with a thought that more depends on it than we must yet deliver. Thus fail not to do your office, as you will answer it at your per. What say you to this, sir? Chapter 500, Uke, what is that Barnardine who is to be executed in the afternoon? Prov, a Bohemian born, but here nursed up and bred, one that is a prisoner 9 years old. Chapter 4-2. 125 Duke, how came it that the absent Duke had not either delivered him to his liberty or executed him? I have heard it was ever his manner to do so. Prov, his friends still wrought reprieves for him, and indeed his fact, till now in the government of Lord Angelo, 130 came not to an undoubtful proof. Chapter 500, Uke, it is now apparent. Prov, most manifest, and not denied by himself. Chapter 500. Uke. Hath he borne himself penitently in prison, how seems he to be touched? 135 Prav. A man that apprehends death no more dreadfully but as a drunken sleep, careless, reckless, and fearless of what's past, present, or to come, insensible of mortality, and desperately mortal. Chapter 500. Uke. He wants advice. 140 Prav. He will hear none. He hath evermore had the liberty of the prison. Give him leave to escape hence. He would not. Drunk many times a day, if not many days entirely drunk. We have very oft awaked him, as if to carry him to execution, and showed him a seeming warrant for it. 145. It hath not moved him at all. Chapter 500. Uke. More of him anon. There is written in your brow, provost, honesty and constancy. If I read it not truly, my ancient skill beguiles me, but in the boldness of my cunning I will lay myself in hazard. Claudio, whom here. 150. You have warrant to execute, is no greater forfeit to the law than Angelo who hath sentenced him. To make you 360 understand this, in a manifested effect, I crave but 4 days' respite, for the which you are to do me both a present and a dangerous courtesy. 155 Prav. Pray, sir, in what? Chapter 500. Uke. In the delaying deaths. Prav. Alack, how may I do it, having the hour limited, and an express command, under penalty, to deliver his head in the view of Angelo? I may make my case as Claudio S. 160 to cross this in the smallest. Chapter 500. Uke. By the vow of mine order I warrant you, if my instructions may be your guide. Let this Barnardine be this morning executed, and his head borne to Angelo. Prav. Angelo hath seen them both, and will discover 165 the favor. Chapter 500. Uke. Oh, death's a great disguiser, and you may add to it. Shave the head and tie the beard, and say it was the desire of the penitent to be so bared before his death. You know the course is common. If anything fall to you 170 upon this, more than thanks and good fortune, by the saint whom I profess, I will plead against it with my life. Prav. Pardon me, good father, it is against my oath. Chapter 500. Uke. Were you sworn to the duke or to the deputy? Prav. To him and to his substitutes. Chapter 42. 175 Duke. You will think you have made no offense, if the Duke avouch the justice of your dealing. Prav. But what likelihood is in that? Chapter 500. Uke. Not a resemblance but a certainty. Yet since I see you fearful, that neither my coat, integrity, nor persuasion 180 can with ease attempt you, I will go further than I meant, to pluck all fears out of you. Look you, sir, here is the hand and seal of the Duke. You know the character, I doubt not, and the signet is not strange to you. Prav. I know them both. 185 Duke. The contents of this is the return of the Duke. You shall anon overread it at your pleasure, where you 361 shall find, within these 2 days he will be here. This is a thing that Angelo knows not, for he this very day receives letters of strange tenor, perchance of the Duke's 190 death, perchance entering into some monastery, but by chance nothing of what is writ. Look, the unfolding star calls up the shepherd. Put not yourself into amazement how these things should be. All difficulties are but easy when they are known. Call your executioner, and off with 195 Barnardine's head. I will give him a present shrift, and advise him for a better place. Yet you are amazed, but this shall absolutely resolve you. Come away, it is almost clear dawn. Exeunt. Chapter 4. 3 Scene III. Another room in the same. Enter Pompey. Pom. I am as well acquainted here as I was in our house of profession. One would think it were Mistress Overdone's own house, for here be many of her old customers. First, here's young Master Rash. He's in for a commodity 5 of brown paper and old ginger, £917, of which he made 5 marks, ready money. Mary, then ginger was not much in request, for the old women were all dead. Then is there here one Master Caper, at the suit of Master Threepile the mercer, for some 410 suits of peach-colored satin, which now peaches him a beggar. Then have we here young Daisy, and young Master Deepvow, and Master Copperspur, and Master Starvlacky the rapier and dagger man, and young Dropair that killed Lusty Pudding, and Master Forthlight the 15 tilter, and brave Master Shooty the great traveller, and wild Half, can that stabbed pots, and I think 40 more, 362 all great doers in our trade, and are now for the Lord's sake. Enter Abhorson. Abhor, Sirrah, bring Barnardine hither. 20 palm, Master Barnardine, you must rise and be hanged, Master Barnardine. Abhor, what ho, Barnardine. Bar a poxo your throats, who makes that noise there, what are you? Chapter 4:3. 25 palm, your friends, sir, the hangman, you must be so good, sir, to rise and be put to death. Bar, away, you rogue, away, I am sleepy. Abhor, tell him he must awake, and that quickly too. Palm, pray, Master Barnardine, awake till you are 30 executed, and sleep afterwards. Abhor, go in to him, and fetch him out. Palm, he is coming, sir, he is coming, I hear his straw rustle. Abhor, is the axe upon the block, Sirrah? 35 palm, very ready, sir. Enter Barnardine. Bar, how now, Abhorson, what's the news with you? Abhor, truly, sir, I would desire you to clap into your prayers, for look you, the warrants come. Bar, you rogue, I have been drinking all night, I am not fitted for tea. Palm, oh, the better, sir, for he that drinks all night, and is hanged betimes in the morning, may sleep the sounder all the next day. Abhor, look you, sir, here comes your ghostly father, 45 do we just now, think you. Enter Duke, disguised as before. Chapter 500. Uke. Sir, induced by my charity, and hearing how 363 hastily you are to depart, I am come to advise you, comfort you, and pray with you. Bar, friar, not I have been drinking hard all night. 50 and I will have more time to prepare me, or they shall beat out my brains with billets. I will not consent to die this day, that's certain. Chapter 500. Uke, O sir, you must, and therefore I beseech you. Chapter 50. Uke, forward on the journey you shall go. 55 Bar, I swear I will not die today for any man's persuasion. Chapter 500. Uke, but hear you. Bar, not a word, if you have anything to say to me, come to my ward, for thence will not I today. Exit. 60 Duke, unfit to live or die, O gravel heart. After him, fellows, bring him to the block. Exeunt Abhorson and Pompey. Re-enter Provost. Prov, now sir, how do you find the prisoner? Chapter 500. Uke, a creature unprepared, unmeet for death. And to transport him, in the mind he is. Were damnable. 65 Prov. Here in the prison, father. There died this morning, of a cruel fever. One Ragozine, a most notorious pirate. A man of Claudio's years, his beard and head. Just of his color, what if we do omit? 70 This reprobate, till he were well inclined. And satisfy the deputy with the visage of Ragozine, more like to Claudio. Chapter 500. Uke, oh, 'tis an accident that heaven provides. Chapter 501. Spatch it presently, the hour draws on. Chapter 4:3. 75 Prefixed by Angelo, see this be done. And sent according to command, whiles. Persuade this rude wretch willingly to die. Prov, this shall be done, good father, presently. But Barnardine must die this afternoon. 80 And how shall we continue, Claudio? To save me from the danger that might come. Chapter 1. If he were known alive. Chapter 500. Uke. Chapter 50. Let this be done. Put them in secret holds, both Barnardine and Claudio. Ere twice the sun hath made his journal greeting. 85 to the under generation, you shall find your safety manifested. Prav, I am your free dependent. Chapter 500, Uke, quick dispatch and send the head to Angelo. Exit provost. Now will I write letters to Angelo. 90 the provost, he shall bear them, whose contents shall witness to him, I am near at home. And that by great injunctions I am bound to enter publicly, him I'll desire to meet me at the consecrated fount. 95 a leg below the city, and from thence, by cold gradation and well-balanced form, we shall proceed with Angelo. Re-enter provost. Prav, here is the head, I'll carry it myself. Chapter 500, Uke, convenient is it, make a swift return. Chapter 43. 104, I would commune with you of such things that want no ear but yours. Prav. Chapter 1, I'll make all speed, exit. Chapter 1, Sab, peace ho be here. Chapter 500, Uke, the tongue of Isabel, she's come to know. Chapter 1, F yet her brother's pardon be come hither. 105, but I will keep her ignorant of her good, to make her heavenly comforts of despair, when it is least expected. Enter Isabella. Chapter 1, Sab. Ho, by your leave. Chapter 500, Uke, good morning to you, fair and gracious daughter. Chapter 1, Sab, the better, given me by so holy a man. 110, hath yet the deputy sent my brother's pardon. Chapter 500, Uke, he hath released him, Isabel, from the world. His head is off, and sent to Angelo. Chapter 1, Sab, nay, but it is not so. Chapter 500, Uke, it is no other, show your wisdom, daughter. 115, in your close patience. Chapter 1, Sab, oh, I will to him and pluck out his eyes. Chapter 500, Uke, you shall not be admitted to his sight. Chapter 1, Sab, unhappy Claudio, wretched Isabel. Chapter 1, injurious world, most damned Angelo. 120 Duke, this nor hurts him, nor profits you a jot. Forbear it therefore, give your cause to heaven. Chapter 1000, Ark what I say, which you shall find. By every syllable, a faithful verity. The Duke comes home tomorrow, nay, dry your eyes. Chapter 43. 125, one of our convent, and his confessor, gives me this instance, already he hath carried notice to Escalus and Angelo, who do prepare to meet him at the gates, there to give up their power, if you can, pace your wistow. 130, in that good path, that I would wish it go. And you shall have your bosom on this wretch. Grace of the Duke, revenges to your heart, and general honor. Chapter 1, Sab. Chapter 1, am directed by you. Chapter 500, Uke, this letter then to Friar Peter give. 135 T's, that he sent me of the Duke's return. Say by this token, I desire his company. At Mariana's house tonight, her cause and yours. Chapter 1, I'll perfect him withal, and he shall bring you before the Duke, and to the head of Angelo. 140 accuse him home and home, for my poor self. Chapter 1, am combined by a sacred vow, and shall be absent, when you with this letter. Chapter 100, amen these fretting waters from your eyes. With a light heart, trust not my holy order. 145, if I pervert your course, who's here? Enter Lucio. Chapter 50, Lucio, good even, friar, where's the provost? Chapter 500, Uke, not within, sir. Chapter 50, Lucio, O pretty Isabella, I am pale at mine heart to see thine eyes so red, thou must be patient, I am fain. 150 to dine and sup with water and bran, I dare not for my head fill my belly, one fruitful meal would set me taut, but they say the Duke will be here tomorrow. By my troth, Isabel, I loved thy brother. If the old fantastical Duke of Dark Corners had been at home, he had lived. Exit Isabella. 155 Duke. Sir, the Duke is marvellous little beholding to your reports, but the best is, he lives not in them. Chapter 50, Lucio, friar, thou knowest not the Duke so well as I do, he's a better woodman than thou takest him for. Chapter 500, Uke, well you'll answer this one day, fare ye we Lucio, nay Tari, I'll go along with thee, I can tell thee pretty tales of the Duke. Chapter 500, Uke, you have told me too many of him already, sir, if they be true, if not true, none were enough. Chapter 50, Lucio, I was once before him, forgetting a wench 165 with child. Chapter 500, Uke, did you such a thing? Chapter 50, Lucio, yes, Mary, did I, but I was fain to forswear it, they would else have married me to the rotten meddler. Chapter 500, Uke, sir, your company is fairer than honest, rest 170 you well. Chapter 50, Lucio, by my troth, I'll go with thee to the lane's end, if bawdy talk offend you, will have very little of it. Nay, friar, I am a kind of burr, I shall stick. Exeunt. Chapter 4, for scene IV, a room in Angelo's house. Enter Angelo and Escalus. Escal, every letter he hath writ hath disvouched other. Ang, in most uneven and distracted manner. His actions show much like to madness, pray heaven his wisdom be not tainted, and why meet him at the gates, 5, and redeliver our authorities there? Escal, I guess not. Ang, and why should we proclaim it in an hour before his entering, that if any crave redress of injustice, they should exhibit their petitions in the street? 10 Escal, he shows his reason for that, to have a dispatch of complaints, and to deliver us from devices hereafter, which shall then have no power to stand against us. Ang, well, I beseech you, let it be proclaimed betimes I the morn. I'll call you at your house, give notice to such 15 men of sort and suit as are to meet him. Escal, I shall, sir, fare you well. Ang, good night. Exit Escalus. This deed unshapes me quite, makes me unpregnant, and dull to all proceedings, a deflowered maid. 20 and by an eminent body that enforced the law against it, but that her tender shame will not proclaim against her maiden loss. How might she tongue me, yet reason dares her no. For my authority bears of a credent bulk. Chapter 4, 25, that no particular scandal once can touch. But it confounds the breather, he should have lived. Save that his riotous youth, with dangerous sense. Chapter 1001, GHT in the times to come have ta'en revenge. By so receiving a dishonored life. 30 with ransom of such shame, would yet he had lived. Alack, when once our grace we have forgot. Nothing goes right, we would and we would not. Exit. Chapter 4, 5 Scene v Fields without the town. Enter Duke in his own habit, and Friar Peter. Chapter 500, Uke, these letters at fit time deliver me, giving letters. The provost knows our purpose and our plot. The matter being afoot, keep your instruction, and hold you ever to our special drift. 5 Though sometimes you do blench from this to that, as cause doth minister, go call at Flavius' house, and tell him where I stay, give the like notice. To Valentius, Roland, and to Crassus. and bid them bring the trumpets to the gate. But send me Flavius first. 10 Fry P. Chapter 1. T shall be speeded well. Exit. Enter Varius. Chapter 500. Euch, I thank thee, Varius, thou hast made good haste. Chapter 100. We will walk, there's other of our friends. Will greet us here anon, my gentle Varius. Exeunt. Chapter 4. 6 Scene VI, street near the city gate. Enter Isabella and Mariana. Chapter 1. Sab, to speak so indirectly I am loath. Chapter 1. Would say the truth, but to accuse him so. That is your part, yet I am advised to do it. He says, to veil full purpose. Chapter 1000. Re. Be ruled by H. Isab. Besides, he tells me that, if peradventure he speak against me, on the adverse side. Chapter 1. Should not think it strange, for T's a physic. That's bitter to sweet end. Chapter 1000. Re. I would Friar Peter. Chapter 1. Sab. O peace, the friar is come. Enter Friar Peter. 10 Fry P. Come, I have found you out a stand most fit, where you may have such vantage on the Duke. He shall not pass you, twice have the trumpets sounded. The generous and gravest citizens have hent the gates, and very near upon. 15 The Duke is entering, therefore hence away. Exeunt. Act 5. Chapter 5. 1 Scene I the city gate. Chapter 1000. Ariana veiled, Isabella and Friar Peter at their stand. Enter Duke, Varius, lords, Angelo, Escalus, Lucio, provost, officers and citizens at several doors. Chapter 500. Euch, my very worthy cousin, fairly met. Our old and faithful friend, we are glad to see you. Ang, happy return be to your royal grace. Escal. Chapter 500. Euch, many and hearty thankings to you both. 5 We have made inquiry of you, and we hear such goodness of your justice that our soul. Chapter 100. Annot but yield you forth to public thanks. Forrunning more requital. Ang. You make my bonds still greater. Chapter 500. Euch, oh, your desert speaks loud, and I should wrong it. 10 To lock it in the wards of covert bosom, when it deserves, with characters of brass, a foretaid residence gainst the tooth of time, and razure of oblivion. Give me your hand, and let the subject see, to make them know. 15 That outward courtesies would fain proclaim favors that keep within. Come, Escalus, you must walk by us on our other hand, and good supporters are you. Friar Peter and Isabella, come forward. Fry P. Now is your time, speak loud and kneel before H. Isab. Justice, O royal Duke, veil your regard. Upon a wronged, I would fain have said, a maid. O worthy prince, dishonor not your eye by throwing it on any other object, till you have heard me in my true complaint. Chapter 5. 1. 25 And given me justice, 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 justice. Chapter 500. Euch, relate your wrongs in what, by whom, be brief. Here is Lord Angelo, shall give you justice. Reveal yourself to him. Chapter 1. Sab. O worthy Duke, you bid me seek redemption of the devil. 30 Hear me yourself, for that which I must speak. Chapter 1000. Ust either punish me, not being believed, or wring redress from you. Hear me, oh hear me here. Ang, my lord, her wits, I fear me, are not firm. She hath been a suitor to me for her brother. Chapter 100, Ut off by course of justice. 35 Isab. By course of justice. Ang, and she will speak most bitterly and strange. Chapter 1, Sab, most strange, but yet most truly will I speak. That Angelo's forsworn, is it not strange? That Angelo's a murderer, is't not strange? 40 That Angelo is an adulterous thief. An hypocrite, a virgin violator. Chapter 1, Is it not strange and strange? Chapter 500, Uke. Nay, it is 10 times strange. Chapter 1, Sab, it is not truer he is Angelo. Then this is all as true as it is strange. 45 Nay, it is 10 times true, for truth is truth. To th, end of reckoning. Chapter 500, Uke. Away with her, poor soul. She speaks this in th, infirmity of sense. Chapter 1, Sab, O Prince, I conjure thee as thou believest. There is another comfort than this world. Chapter 5, 1. 50 That thou neglect me not, with that opinion. That I am touched with madness, make not impossible. That which but seems unlike, tease not impossible. But 1, the wicked stee caitiff on the ground. Chapter 1000, I seem as shy, as grave, as just, as absolute. 55 As Angelo, even so may Angelo. Chapter 1, in all his dressings, characts, titles, forms. Be an arch-villain, believe it, royal prince. Chapter 1, if he be less, he's nothing, but he's more. Had I more name for badness. Chapter 500, Uke. By mine honesty. 60 If she be mad, as I believe no other. Her madness hath the oddest frame of sense. Such a dependency of thing on thing. As ere I heard, in madness. Chapter 1, Sab. O gracious Duke. Harp not on that, nor do not banish reason. 65 For inequality, but let your reason serve. To make the truth appear where it seems hid. And hide the false seems true. Chapter 500, Uke. Chapter 1000, Any that are not mad. Have sure more lack of reason, what would you say? Chapter 1, Sab, I am the sister of one Claudio. 70 Condemned, upon the act of fornication. To lose his head, condemned by Angelo. Chapter 1, In probation of a sisterhood. Was sent to by my brother, one Lucio. As then the messenger. Chapter 50, Lucio. That's I, an't like your grace. Chapter 5, 1. 75 I came to her from Claudio, and desired her. To try her gracious fortune with Lord Angelo. For her poor brother's pardon. Chapter 1, Sab. That's he indeed. Chapter 500, Uke, you are not bid to speak. Chapter 50, Lucio. No, my good lord. Nor wished to hold my peace. Chapter 500, Uke. Chapter 1, Wish you now then. 80 Pray you, take note of it, and when you have a business for yourself, pray heaven you then be perfect. Chapter 50, Lucio. Chapter 1, Warrant your honor. Chapter 500, Uke, the warrants for yourself, take heed taught. Chapter 1, Sab, this gentleman told somewhat of my tale. 85 Lucio, right. Chapter 500, Uke, it may be right, but you are I the wrong. To speak before your time, proceed. Chapter 1, Sab. Chapter 1, Went. To this pernicious caitiff deputy. Chapter 500, Uke, that's somewhat madly spoken. Chapter 1, Sab. Pardon it. 90 The phrase is to the matter. Chapter 500, Uke mended again, the matter, proceed. Chapter 1, Sab, in brief, to set the needless process by. How I persuaded, how I prayed and kneeled. How he refelled me, and how I replied. 95, for this was of much length, the vile conclusion. Chapter 1, now begin with grief and shame to utter. He would not, but by gift of my chaste body, to his concupiscible, intemperate lust, release my brother, and after much debatement. Chapter 5, 1. 100, my sisterly remorse confutes mine honor. And I did yield to him, but the next morn betimes, his purpose surfeiting, he sends a warrant for my poor brother's head. Chapter 500, Uke. This is most likely. Chapter 1, Sab, oh that it were as like as it is true. 105 Duke, by heaven, fond wretch, thou know'st not what thou speak'st, or else thou art suborned against his honor. Chapter 1, and hateful practice, first, his integrity stands without blemish, next, it imports no reason that with such vehemency he should pursue. 110 Faults proper to himself, if he had so offended. He would have weighed thy brother by himself, and not have cut him off, someone hath set you on. Chapter 100, confess the truth, and say by whose advice thou camest here to complain. Chapter 1, Sab. And is this all? 115 Then, O you blessed ministers above, keep me in patience, and with ripened time unfold the evil which is here wrapped up. Chapter 1, En countenance, heaven shield your grace from woe. As I thus wronged, hence unbelieved go. 120 Duke, I know you'll fain be gone, an officer. To prison with her, shall we thus permit a blasting and a scandalous breath to fall on him so near us? This needs must be a practice. Who knew of your intent and coming hither? Chapter 5, 1. 125 Isab, one that I would were here, Friar Lodowick. Chapter 500, Uke, a ghostly father belike, who knows that Lodowick. Chapter 50, Lucio, my lord I know him, 'tis a meddling friar. Chapter 1, do not like the man, had he been lay my lord. For certain words he spake against your grace. 130 In your retirement, I had swinged him soundly. Chapter 500, Uke, words against me, this is a good friar belike. And to set on this wretched woman here. Against our substitute, let this friar be found. Chapter 50, Lucio, but yesternight my lord she and that friar. 135 I saw them at the prison, a saucy friar, a very scurvy fellow. Fry, P. Blessed be your royal grace. Chapter 1, have stood by my lord, and I have heard your royal ear abused. First, hath this woman 140 most wrongfully accused your substitute, who is as free from touch or soil with her as she from one ungot. Chapter 500, Uke. We did believe, no less. Know you that Friar Lodowick that she speaks of? Fry, P. I know him for a man divine and holy, not scurvy, nor a temporary meddler, as he's reported by this gentleman, and on my trust, a man that never yet. Chapter 999, as he vouches, misreport your grace. Chapter 50, Lucio, my lord most villainously believe it. Chapter 5, 1. 150 Fry, P. Well, he in time may come to clear himself. But at this instant he is sick, my lord, of a strange fever, upon his mere request, being come to knowledge that there was complaint. Chapter 1. Intended gainst Lord Angelo came I hither. 155 To speak, as from his mouth, what he doth know. Chapter 1. S true and false, and what he with his oath. And all probation will make up full clear. Whensoever he's convented, first, for this woman, to justify this worthy nobleman. 160. So vulgarly and personally accused. Her shall you hear disproved to her eyes, till she herself confess it. Chapter 500. Uke. Good friar, let's hear it. Chapter 1. Isabella is carried off guarded, and Mariana comes forward. Chapter 500. Oh, you not smile at this, Lord Angelo. O heaven, the vanity of wretched fools. 165. Give us some seats. Come, cousin Angelo. Chapter 1. In this I'll be impartial, be you judge. Of your own cause, is this the witness, friar? First let her show her face, and after speak. Chapter 1000. Ari, pardon my lord, I will not show my face. 170. Until my husband bid me. Chapter 500. Uke, what are you married? Chapter 1000. Ari, no, my lord. Chapter 500. Uke, are you a maid? Chapter 1000. Ari, no, my lord. Chapter 5. 1. 175. Duke, a widow then. Chapter 1000. Ari, neither, my lord. Chapter 500. Uke, why you are nothing then, neither maid, widow, nor wife. Chapter 50. Lucio, my lord, she may be a punk, for many of thee neither maid, widow, nor wife. Chapter 500. Uke, silence that fellow, I would he had some cause to prattle for himself. Chapter 50. Lucio, well, my lord. Chapter 1000. Ari, my lord, I do confess I ne'er was married. 185. And I confess, besides, I am no maid. Chapter 1. Have known my husband, yet my husband knows not that ever he knew me. Chapter 50. Lucio, he was drunk then, my lord, it can be no better. Chapter 500. Uke, for the benefit of silence would thou wert so too. 190. Lucio, well, my lord. Chapter 500. Uke, this is no witness for Lord Angelo. Chapter 1000. Ari, now I come taught, my lord. She that accuses him of fornication. Chapter 1. In self-same manner doth accuse my husband. 195. And charges him, my lord, with such a time, when I'll depose, I had him in mine arms. With all effect of love. Ang, charges she more than me. Chapter 1000. Ari. Not that I know. Chapter 500. Uke, no, you say your husband. Chapter 5. 1. 200. Mari, why just my lord, and that is Angelo, who thinks he knows that he ne'er knew my body, but knows he thinks that he knows Isabella. S. Ang, this is a strange abuse, let's see thy face. Chapter 1000. Ari, my husband bids me, now I will unmask, unveiling. 205. This is that face, thou cruel Angelo, which once thou swearest was worth the looking on. This is the hand which, with a vowed contract, was fast belocked in thine, this is the body that took away the match from Isabella. 210. And did supply thee at thy garden house. Chapter 1. N. Her imagined person. Chapter 500. Uke. Know you this woman? Chapter 50, Lucio, carnally she says. Chapter 500, Uke. Sirrah, no more. Chapter 50, Lucio, enough, my lord. Ang, my lord, I must confess I know this woman. 215, and 5 years since there was some speech of marriage betwixt myself and her, which was broke off. Part 50, why for that her promised proportions. Chapter 100, aim short of composition, but in chief. For that her reputation was disvalue in levity, since which time of 5 years. Chapter 1, never spake with her, saw her, nor heard from her. Upon my faith and honor. Chapter 1000, Ari. Noble prince. As there comes light from heaven, and words from breath. As there is sense in truth, and truth in virtue. Chapter 5, 1. 225, I am affianced this man's wife as strongly as words could make up vows, and my good lord. But Tuesday night last gone in's garden house. He knew me as a wife, as this is true. Chapter 50, at me in safety raise me from my knees. 230, or else, for ever be confixed here. A marble monument. Ang. Chapter 1, did but smile till now. Now, good my lord, give me the scope of justice. Chapter 1000, why patience here is touched, I do perceive. These poor informal women are no more. 235, but instruments of some more mightier member. That sets them on, let me have way, my lord, to find this practice out. Chapter 500, Uke. I with my heart, and punish them to your height of pleasure. Thou foolish friar, and thou pernicious woman. 240 compact with her that's gone, think'st thou thy oaths? Though they would swear down each particular saint, were testimonies against his worth and credit. That's sealed in approbation, you Lord Escalus. Sit with my cousin, lend him your kind pains. 245, to find out this abuse, whence 'tis derived. There is another friar that set them on. Chapter 50, at him be sent for. Fry P would he were here, my lord, for he, indeed, hath set the women on to this complaint. Chapter 5, 1. 250, your provost knows the place where he abides, and he may fetch him. Chapter 500, Uke. Go do it instantly. Exit provost. And you, my noble and well-warranted cousin, whom it concerns to hear this matter forth. Chapter 500, O with your injuries as seems you best. 255, in any chastisement, I for a while will leave you. But stir not you, till you have well determined upon these slanderers. Escal, my lord, will do it throughly. Signor Lucio, did not you say you knew that friar Lodoic 260 to be a dishonest person? Chapter 50, Lucio, cuculus non facit monachum, honest in nothing but in his clothes, and one that hath spoke most villainous speeches of the Duke. Escal, we shall entreat you to abide here till he come, 265, and enforce them against him. We shall find this friar a notable fellow. Chapter 50, Lucio, as any in Vienna, on my word. Escal, call that same Isabel here once again, I would speak with her. Exit an attendant. Pray you, my lord, 270 give me leave to question, you shall see how I'll handle her. Chapter 50, Lucio, not better than he by her own report. Escal, say you. Chapter 50, Lucio, marry sir, I think, if you handled her privately. 275, she would sooner confess. Perchance, publicly, she'll be ashamed. Escal, I will go darkly to work with her. Chapter 50, Lucio, that's the way, for women are light at midnight. Re-enter officers with Isabella, and provost with the duke in his friar's habit. Escal, come on, mistress. Here, as a gentlewoman denies 280 all that you have said. Chapter 50, Lucio, my lord, here comes the rascal I spoke of, here with the provost. Escal, in very good time, speak not you to him till we call upon you. 285 Lucio, mum. Escal, come sir, did you set these women on to slander Lord Angelo? They have confessed you did. Chapter 500, Uke, 'tis false. Escal, how know you where you are? 290 Duke, respect to your great place, and let the devil be sometime honored for his burning throne. Where is the Duke? 'Tis he should hear me speak. Escal, the Duke is in us, and we will hear you speak. Chapter 50, Uke, you speak justly. 295 Duke, boldly at least, but oh, poor souls. Chapter 100, own you to seek the lamb here of the fox. Good night to your redress, is the Duke gone? Then is your cause gone too, the Duke's unjust. Thus to retort your manifest appeal. Chapter 5, 1. 300, and put your trial in the villain's mouth, which here you come to accuse. Chapter 50, Lucio, this is the rascal, this is he I spoke of. Escal, why thou unreverend and unhallowed friar? Chapter 1, est not enough thou hast suborned these women. 305, to accuse this worthy man, but in foul mouth, and in the witness of his proper ear. To call him villain, and then to glance from him to the Duke himself, to tax him with injustice. Take him hence, to the rack with him, we'll touse you. 310, joint by joint, but we will know his purpose. What unjust? Chapter 500, Uke. Be not so hard, the Duke. Chapter 500, or no more stretch this finger of mine than he. Chapter 500, or rack his own, his subject am I not. Nor here provincial, my business in this state. 315, made me a looker-on here in Vienna, where I have seen corruption boil and bubble, till it o'errun the stew, laws for all faults, but faults so countenanced that the strong statutes stand like the forfeits in a barber's shop. 320, as much in mock as mark. Escal, slander to the state, away with him to prison. Ang, what can you vouch against him, Signor Lucio? Chapter 1, is this the man that you did tell us of? Chapter 50, Lucio, 'tis he my lord, come hither Goodman Baldpate. 325, do you know me? Chapter 500, Uke, I remember you, sir, by the sound of your voice. I met you at the prison in the absence of the Duke. Chapter 50, Lucio, oh, did you so, and do you remember what you said of the Duke? 330 Duke, most notedly, sir. Chapter 50, Lucio, do you so, sir, and was the Duke a fleshmonger? 382 a fool and a coward, as you then reported him to be. Chapter 500, Uke, you must, sir, change persons with me, ere you 335 make that my report. You indeed spoke so of him, and much more, much worse. Chapter 50, Lucio, O thou damnable fellow, did not I pluck thee by the nose for thy speeches? Chapter 500, Uke, I protest I love the Duke as I love myself. 340 Ang, hark, how the villain would close now after his treasonable abuses. Escal, such a fellow is not to be talked withal. Away with him to prison, where is the provost? Away with him to prison, lay bolts enough upon him, let him speak 345 no more. Away with those giglets too, and with the other confederate companion. Chapter 500, Uke, stay sir, stay a while. Ang, what resists he, help him Lucio. Chapter 50, Lucio, come sir, come sir, come sir, foe sir. 350 Why, you bald-pated, lying rascal, you must be hooded, must you? Show your knave's visage, with a pox to you. Show your sheep-biting face, and be hanged an hour. Wilt not off. Pulls off the friar's hood, and discovers the duke. Chapter 500, Uke, thou art the first knave that e'er madest a duke. 355 First, provost, let me bail these gentle three. Sneak not away, sir, for the friar and you. Chapter 1000, Ust have a word anon, lay hold on him. Chapter 50, Lucio, this may prove worse than hanging. Chapter 500, Uke, what you have spoke I pardon, sit you down. 360, will borrow place of him, sir, by your leave. Hast thou a word, or wit, or impudence, that yet can do the office, if thou hast? Rely upon it, till my tale be heard, and hold no longer out. Ang! O my dread lord! 365, I should be guiltier than my guiltiness. To think I can be undiscernible, when I perceive your grace, like power divine, hath looked upon my passes, then, good prince, no longer session hold upon my shame. 370, but let my trial be mine own confession. Chapter 1999, Ediate sentence then, and sequent death. Chapter 1, all the grace I beg. Chapter 500, Uke. Chapter 100, hither Mariana. Say, wast thou e'er contracted to this woman? Ang, I was, my lord. Chapter 5, 1. 375 Duke, go take her hence, and marry her instantly. Chapter 500, owe you the office, friar, which consummate. Return him here again, go with him, provost. Exeunt Angelo, Mariana, Friar Peter, and provost. Escal, my lord, I am more amazed at his dishonor than at the strangeness of it. Chapter 500, Uke. Chapter 100, hither, Isabe your friar is now your prince, as I was then. Advertising, and wholly to your business. Not changing heart with habit, I am still attorneyed at your service. Chapter 1, Sab. Oh, give me pardon, that I, your vassal, have employed and pained your unknown sovereignty. 385 Duke. You are pardoned, Isabel. And now, dear maid, be you as free to us. Your brother's death, I know, sits at your heart, and you may marvel why I obscured myself. Chapter 50, abhorring to save his life, and would not rather. 390, make rash remonstrance of my hidden power. Then let him so be lost, O most kind maid. Chapter 1, was the swift celerity of his death, which I did think with slower foot came on. That brain my purpose, but peace be with him. 395, that life is better life, past fearing death, than that which lives to fear, make it your comfort. So happy is your brother. Chapter 1, Sab. Chapter 1, do my lord. Re-enter Angelo, Mariana, Friar Peter, and provost. Chapter 500, Uke, for this new married man approaching here, whose salt imagination yet hath wronged. Chapter 5, 1. 400 Your well-defended honor you must pardon, for Mariana's sake, but as he adjudged your brother, being criminal in double violation of sacred chastity and of promise breach, thereon dependent for your brother's life. 405, the very mercy of the law cries out. Chapter 1000, asked audible even from his proper tongue. An Angelo for Claudio, death for death. Haste still pays haste, and leisure answers leisure. Chapter 51, key doth quit like, and measure still for measure. 410 Then, Angelo, thy faults thus manifested, which though thou wouldst deny, denies thee vantage. We do condemn thee to the very block, where Claudio stooped to death, and with like haste. Away with him. Chapter 1000, Re. O my most gracious Lord. 415, I hope you will not mock me with a husband. Chapter 500, Uke, it is your husband mocked you with a husband. Chapter 100, Onsenting to the safeguard of your honor. Chapter 1, Thought your marriage fit, else imputation. For that he knew you, might reproach your life. 420, and choke your good to come, for his possessions. Although by confiscation they are ours. We do in state, and widow you withal, to buy you a better husband. Chapter 1000, Re. O my dear Lord. Chapter 1, Crave no other, nor no better man. Chapter 5, 1. 425 Duke, never crave him, we are definitive. Chapter 1000, Re, gentle my liege, kneeling. Chapter 500, Uke. You do but lose your labor. Away with him to death, now sir to you. Chapter 1000, Re, O my good lord, sweet Isabel take my part. Chapter 50, End me your knees and all my life to come. 430, I'll lend you all my life to do you service. Chapter 500, Uke, against all sense you do importune her. Should she kneel down, in mercy of this fact, her brother's ghost his paved bed would break, and take her hence in horror. Chapter 1000, Re. Chapter 1, Sable. 435 Sweet Isabel, do yet but kneel by me. Hold up your hands, say nothing, I'll speak all. They say, best men are molded out of faults, and for the most, become much more the better. For being a little bad, so may my husband, O Isabel, will you not lend a knee? Chapter 500, Uke, he dies for Claudio's death. Chapter 1, Sab. Chapter 1000, asked bounteous sir kneeling. Chapter 50, Uke, if it please you, on this man condemned. As if my brother lived, I partly think. A due sincerity governed his deeds. 445, till he did look on me, since it is so. Chapter 50, Let him not die, my brother had but justice. Chapter 1, N that he did the thing for which he died. For Angelo, his act did not ordake his bad intent. Chapter 5, 1. 450, and must be buried but as an intent. That perished by the way, thoughts are no subjects. Chapter 1, intents but merely thoughts. Chapter 1000, Re. Chapter 1000, Early my lord. Chapter 500, Uke, your suit's unprofitable, stand up I say. Chapter 1, Have bethought me of another fault. 455, Provost, how came it Claudio was beheaded? At an unusual hour. Prov. Chapter 1, T was commanded so. Chapter 500, Uke, had you a special warrant for the deed? Prov, no, my good lord, it was by private message. Chapter 500, Uke, for which I do discharge you of your office. Give up your keys. 460 Prov. Pardon me, noble lord. Chapter 1, thought it was a fault, but knew it not. Yet did repent me, after more advice. For testimony whereof, one in the prison, that should by private order else have died. Chapter 1, have reserved alive. Chapter 500, Uke. What's he? 465, Prav. His name is Barnardine. Chapter 500, Uke. I would thou hadst done so by Claudio. Go fetch him hither, let me look upon him. Exit Provost. Escal, I am sorry, one so learned and so wise as you, Lord Angelo, have still appeared. 470 should slip so grossly, both in the heat of blood and lack of tempered judgment afterward. I am sorry that such sorrow I procure, and so deep sticks it in my penitent heart, that I crave death more willingly than mercy. Chapter 5, 1. 475 'tis my deserving, and I do entreat it. Re-enter Provost, with Barnardine, Claudio muffled, and Juliet. Chapter 500, Uke. Which is that Barnardine? Prov. This, my lord. Chapter 500, Uke. There was a friar told me of this man. Sirrah, thou art said to have a stubborn soul that apprehends no further than this world. 480, and squarest thy life according, thou art condemned. But for those earthly faults, I quit them all, and pray thee take this mercy to provide. For better times to come, friar, advise him. Chapter 1, leave him to your hand, what muffled fellows that. 485, Prav. This is another prisoner that I saved, who should have died when Claudio lost his head. As like almost to Claudio as himself, unmuffles Claudio. Chapter 500, Uke. If he be like your brother for his sake. Chapter 1, as he pardoned, and for your lovely sake. 490, give me your hand, and say you will be mine. He is my brother too, but fitter time for that. By this Lord Angelo perceives he's safe. Chapter 1000, he thinks I see a quickening in his eye. Well, Angelo, your evil quits you well. 495, look that you love your wife, her worth yours. Chapter 1, find an apt remission in myself. And yet here's one in place, I cannot pardon. You, sirrah, that knew me for a fool, a coward, one all of luxury, an ass, a madman. Chapter 5, 1. 500, wherein have I so deserved of you, that you extol me thus? Chapter 50, Lucio. Faith, my lord, I spoke it but according to the trick. If you will hang me for it, you may, but I had rather it would please you I might be whipped. 505, Duke. Whipped first, sir, and hanged after. Proclaim it, Provost, round about the city. Chapter 1, as any woman wronged by this lewd fellow. As I have heard him swear himself, there's one, whom he begot with child, let her appear. 510, and he shall marry her, the nuptial finished. Chapter 50, let him be whipped and hanged. Chapter 50, Lucio, I beseech your highness, do not marry me to a whore. Your highness said even now, I made you a duke. Good my lord, do not recompense me in making me a 515 cuckold. Chapter 500, Uke, upon mine honor thou shalt marry her. Thy slanders I forgive, and therewithal remit thy other forfeits, take him to prison. And see our pleasure herein execute Lucio, marrying a punk my lord, is pressing to death, whipping and hanging. Chapter 500, Uke, slandering a prince deserves it. Exeunt officers with Lucio. She Claudio, that you wronged, look you restore. Joy to you, Mariana, love her Angelo. Chapter 5, 1. 525, I have confessed her, and I know her virtue. Thanks, good friend Escalus, for thy much goodness. There's more behind that, is more gratulate. Thanks, Provost, for thy care and secrecy. We shall employ thee in a worthier place. 530, forgive him, Angelo, that brought you home. The head of Ragazine for Claudio S. The offense pardons itself, dear Isabel. Chapter 1, have emotion much imports your good. Whereto, if you'll a willing ear incline. 535, what's mine is yours, and what is yours is mine. So bring us to our palace, where we'll show what's yet behind, that's meet you all should know.